Пошли. Все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства?
They want you to comply.
Cancel culture is about canceling.
Кокаином.
Up yours. Woke moralists. Up yours.
This is systematic bullying that's happening.
Woke moralists. Up yours.
And they believe that they can then
Woke
shut us
moralists.
up.
F around and find out.
Up yours. Woke moralists.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals.
The woke mob, they ruin everything.
They stop Ben Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stop Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what.
Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like
Up yours.
We'll see who cancels who.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey. We're all in a great mood today. Yeah. What a fantastic week it's been. It's been amazing. Let's talk about all that great stuff that's happened this week.
Life is good. Everything is right in the universe. We're all feeling swell.
Wow, right out of the gates, David. I haven't seen you.
Things are getting better and better every day. This is how we deal with this shit. It's just more ridiculous.
Exciting. It's more exciting.
Myself.
You know, it's certainly wild. Yeah, a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah, we did get some good news this week. Net neutrality has officially been restored. That's one great victory.
Civil workers, benefits packages can start at half the amount that was required. The threshold has been in half, which also would have been massive news.
That's
huge
great.
labor victories as well.
Non-compete clauses have been outlawed.
Yeah, non-compete clauses too.
Yeah.
Would have been a week where we'd all be praising, I think, Joe Biden had it not been for the genocide, where that's all that consumes, and it's all you can think about, and it's all just like white noise, in the background, where you're like, okay, these are good programs, good ideas, great accomplishments, and then what about the other thing? Because that's
it just hangs over every single thing, as you were saying. Like, there was the news also that Buttigieg had announced about the regulations on airports and junk fees and whatnot. Also really positive, but it's like, wow, great job. You're also killing tens of thousands of people. It's just it's one of those things where you can't get it off of your mind. So I struggle to give Joe Biden credit for anything when he is complicit in mass murder. It's kind of a hard thing for me to do. I don't know if I'm alone.
No, it's tough.
It would seem like every single part of the Democratic voter base that's important, the constituents, like people of color, LGBTQ plus people,
young voters.
Young voters. Yeah. Oh yeah, young voters. None too happy about this. In fact, some might
ones
say
that won him the election in 2020. These are the exact voting bases that he's going to make stay home because it was bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and not to mention
what
the TikTok ban. He just signed that on Wednesday. Was it?
For Netanyahu, who fucking hates him anyways, who wants Trump in regardless, and fucking knows that, and Netanyahu's playing Biden like a fiddle, just fucking old ass clown.
I love how Netanyahu has the audacity to condemn the violence on college campuses. I mean, this Hitlerian fascist is murdering people.
Did he call students like Nazis and terrorists? He said this is the same as the rise of Germany and Hitler, and then these are also Hamas. They're part of Hamas.
Was he looking in a mirror as he was saying this shit? Fucking idiot.
Yeah, it's just
how many people they fucking killed?
The gaslighting is what I think is making me feel like I'm going crazy, right? Because this is one of those times where you have Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, all of the media. They're all saying the same thing. They're all smearing these student protesters. And it's just nobody's talking to the protesters. To be fair, there were a couple of MSNBC pundits who actually brought on some of the students at Columbia University and spoke to them and asked them what their goal was here. And, when you talk to them, it kind of dispels this myth that these are like rabid anti-Semites. Because Ursa, I can't remember her last name. It's Ilhan Omar's daughter. She was talking about how they were doing like interfaith, prayers on her campus with Jewish students and Arab
Well,
students.
they're also being organized by Jewish students too, right?
Yeah, but they're all anti-Semites.
Right.
All of them.
Isra Hersey, that's her name.
Isra Hersey, thank you. Yeah, she's great. Yeah, and then yesterday the news broke that the pigs came through and they started to violently shut down the protests. And as is always the case, these protests, they're peaceful, and then the cops get there, they antagonize, and then things start to get violent. And it's oftentimes the cops who instigate the violence, if not always. So it's so frustrating because, all the same people who talk about, oh, free speech this, free speech that, they're the ones calling for this to be shut down. Like there was a tweet that Mehdi Hasan had shared of Governor Greg Abbott saying how important free speech is on college campuses. And here he is sending in state troopers to shut that shit down. And everyone's just cool. Like the media's like, well, they're anti-Semitic, so fuck them. There's just no principle. It's so frustrating. Like it makes me want to scream because it's like they're lying to us, but like they're not even trying to convince us. Like it's so Orwellian and they're not even trying. The propaganda is just bad, but they're still doing it and they think that we're stupid.
Did y'all watch the Hasan on Piers Morgan debate?
I saw the one clip going around where he's just like, who the fuck are you? Shut the fuck up.
Well, British, yeah, that was super funny. But what's great about that clip and that moment is that, like, I think that's the frustration everyone's just collectively feeling at people both sides in genocide, or people trying to constantly be like, we need to talk about the horrifying atrocities and everything that was terrible on October 7th. And truly, no one on this panel has done that yet. At the same time, I do agree. I feel bad for people in Gaza. I won't call them Palestinians. I won't call it Palestine. I won't say, what happened prior to October 7th, but I will say I feel deeply, deeply sad and troubled by it. And then finally, like, Hasan had to be the person who snapped. It was just like, yeah, no. You mean, like, you can't.
It was cathartic. It was so cathartic to watch that because, like, in the lead up to that moment, the guy had interrupted Hasan to just completely disregard the point that he was making. So, like, that blonde lady who was just haranguing Hasan the entire interview.
He's like a sports journalist or something.
Yeah. She was saying, you don't care about the hostages. And Hasan made the point that if you actually care about the hostages, which you should, as we all should, then you call for a ceasefire. So that way people in Gaza and Israeli hostages are safe. Like hostages were released when there was a ceasefire. And then that guy, the pink hair guy, he's like, oh, well, you're minimizing the hostages. And he just disregarded what Hasan said. So that's why Hasan snapped. Yeah, this is such a great clip.
I'm trying to imply
very patronizing.
Utilizing the hostages. Yeah, I am being patronizing. I don't know who the fuck you are, and you're over here chirping all the way from fucking London about Palestine and doing a both sides are fucking fine type bullshit where you're talking about how you want to fucking free Palestine, but also simultaneously, both sides got a lot going on. Shut the fuck up. You don't know anything, okay? I'm trying to imply.
So good. Hasan, throughout that whole interview, was just on fire because I don't know if you watched the full thing. I actually watched all 40 minutes of it.
Yeah,
I have brain damage now, just FYI. But it starts off with an interview.
I have a hard time. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, it starts off with a crackhead Barney interview. And then Piers Morgan, for 10 minutes, is trying to talk.
If you're not familiar with her, she's a street performer from New York. And I know a lot of people who have
that is because I have no idea.
Okay, so I've actually met her in person. I used to, So I used to live in New York. I lived there for about 5 months. I lived in Flatbush, and I was filming some projects in New York. And she's basically like a street performer, very like a lot of people find her incredibly aggressive, but she's also part of Means TV, if you didn't know this. And Means TV has been doing a show with her for a little while now. Her views, according to Means TV, are that she's like an anarchist and she's trying to bring attention to obviously oppression in all its ways through extreme shock comedy. Kind of things like that. So I know people on the left are really, really upset with her being like, I think that she's trying to, portray a negative black stereotype on TV. People on the right think that she's just trolling, but isn't actually anti-Alec Baldwin. It's like kind of confusing to find out. But the best part about that whole intro is the fact that Piers Morgan tried to Piers Morgan an interview with crackhead Barney. Right. He was trying to do that thing where he's like, I'm going to have a very serious interview and ask why you would accost rich, famous people. because that's what I care about. He was so passionate about that. He's like, I really care about the fact that she like was just like, you know, being really rude to Alec Baldwin. He had a right to just buy a sandwich. You know, why should anyone ask him that in public?
And after Piers finally cut it off after like 10 minutes, like not taking the hint that she's not gonna break character. Like, what are you doing? Hasan's response was so funny. He's like, you expected to have a serious conversation with crackhead Barbie. Like, I don't know if he called her crackhead Barbie. It was really funny. He's like, yeah, Hasan was just saying what everyone was thinking. Like, he was cooking on that fucking show. It was so good.
Also, it brings attention to the fact that Piers Morgan and his show is trash. You know, I mean, like I too am trash, but I'll admit that I'm trash. I'm self-aware trash, but he's not. And it was kind of like, is this truly better? Is this more constructive or better entertainment or better for the populace than what you produce, Piers? And I would argue, no, it's not. You know, if anything, it just brings attention. It's like shining a mirror through absurdity. Kind of, I think.
Yes,
that's my
every time. You know, so I've covered a few Piers Morgan clips, and I make it clear, like, he does what he does because he gets him clicks. And to be fair to him, it works. Like, I covered a couple of his clips, but not because of him, though, but because like the guest he has on and the points they're making. But like he knows how to get eyeballs, and he does it with these you know, debates, these interviews. And it's nothing to do with him. It's everything to do with the choice in the guest and like who he brings on. And I guess you could say maybe it has something to do with him because he never takes a side on anything. Like, or he will in one, you know, in one interview and then take the other side.
If you condemn Hamas, you have to condemn Hamas. That's the first step. Yeah. But do you condemn Hamas? Do you condemn Hamas?
Which is just that's not journalism. You're just again this
sound bites.
Yeah, it's sound bites. It's sound bites. So, but I mean, I don't know. Well, is there value to anything at this point? Like, aren't people? You're either at this point, hopefully, aware of what the fuck is going on, or you're not, or you are, and you don't care that thousands of people are being murdered by the state of Israel. Like, what more needs to be debated? Like, there's nothing else left to debate. So all these debates, they're just kind of, I don't know, unless someone just came out of a cave. Like, I don't know what the actual value is to the audience at this point to have these sorts of debates, but
I feel like everything's been said already that needed to be said. You know what I mean? Like, the facts are laid out. Just this week, we found mass graves in Khan Yunis. Some of the people that they found had their hands tied together. I mean, there's so much evidence now that if you haven't made up your mind, then I don't know what to tell you, right?
Well, you think that, but the panel still had like perfect centrists, enlightened centrism, even.
Yeah.
Where people are like, well, you know, multiple things can be bad at once. Can we just please condemn people blocking roads? That's what we need to talk about right now, you know? Like, I saw Asmongold, who's a super famous, he's like one of the biggest streamers in the world. He criticized that entire Piers Morgan thing because he was like, at the end of the day, if you're going to block roads and you're blocking me in traffic, I believe the opposite of whatever you're like, you know, espousing. And I was like, well, but what if it's Nazis? what if they're anti-fascist? Are you like, well, I'm a Nazi now. I had no choice. Like, fucking, you know, Antifa is blocking the road. I'm now a fascist. Like,
yeah, what if they're like anti-pedophile or anti-human trafficking? You're going to be on the opposite just instinctively?
A rule's a rule. Gotta live by a code.
So childish. Yeah, any clip I see of this guy, he just says the most banal, like, dumb shit ever. And
can someone explain to me why people know who the fuck this guy is? Why do I see his weird ass face all over Twitter? Well, why do we see this guy all the time?
He's the most famous World of Warcraft streamer.
Oh, that's what it is? I thought he came from gaming.
Wow. Yeah.
So I watched a Lords of the Fallen review. I was looking for reviews of a game that I was playing last year, and his was the first one that came up. And it is a like 35-minute video of somebody else's review. And he says like 3 words the entire time. He's like, yep, that's true. And I'm thinking like, is he talking to somebody? Because he's being so quiet. So he must be listening. No, he's just watching a video. And I'm like, why don't I just watch the video of the guy? Like, you're adding nothing to it.
To be fair, a lot of
I've heard he does that.
Twitch streamers
do that a lot. Like, he totally cheats in like he cheats like the YouTube system and just like watches other people's stuff and just like says a word or two every now and then.
Or did they both
like
do
people
it?
should like
he does it too.
The people who he does that to should DMCA his videos because he's not adding any it's not fair use just to replay your video.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna replay the video, you have to add more than like, "Yup, that's true." You know what I mean? And it's like
you have to criticize it, you have to comment on it, you have to say this is shit, and here's why it's shit. I'm going to use this as an example. Here's the clip that explains why then that's why it's shit. That's fair use, you know?
Right.
What's sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, he's such a big like YouTuber that he could, like, if he wants to be lazy, at least give these channels a boost. But like his video got more views than the original one. I found that up because I just watched the original one because I wanted to see the review. You know.
Well, Matt, you're very quiet apparently.
Yeah, your mic's.
Oh yeah, I put my volume up. That should be better now. I think.
I don't get why.
I mean, it sounds okay to me, but afterwards it was really soft when I watched it back when I was doing like the timestamps. So I'm not sure.
I don't get what's going on here. Let me see what I can do. All right.
Why do people care what World of Warcraft gamers have to say about news? Like, I do. Look, I have a gaming channel. No one cares what the fuck that me, a political YouTuber, has to say about games. Like, but why? But why? And I actually have a background in video games, so it would make more sense if I had an audience there. But like, why do people care about like what StarCraft gamers or Warcraft, like whether it's like Destiny or like this other dude, like? Why?
Well, with Destiny, he's also like a political streamer. He's more of a hybrid. But to Mike's point, it has a lot to do with the fact that these are some of the most popular YouTubers, period, on YouTube for any genre. And so
it doesn't matter what they say.
Well, but they have massive channels, and then they make clip channels, and all these people just love them for World of Warcraft. Once they start talking politics, those also get hundreds of thousands of views. In some case, like Mike was saying, more than the original content producer themselves. And then XQC will just attach like maybe 30 seconds at the very end, be like, "God, it's fucking crazy, it's fucking crazy," and that's it. But like that's the whole thing, you know. Like that's and then all of a sudden they upload the video, and it's all the work that went to an original, you know, content producer gone.
Yeah, it was so jarring to me to see that, like when I found that review, because it was like genuinely like not fair use. It was like fair use is it's subjective, right? It's difficult. It depends. A lot of people just say, you know, you have to talk for half the time. That there's no like actual rules, but like when you see it, you'll know it. And that video was like not fair use. It was so weird to me because I'm like, there's nothing added to this, so I might as well watch the original video. And the fact that I got so many views, it's like, man, it almost makes me like, I feel jealous and like bad because it's like, you don't even have to do a good job. You could just be shitty and lazy and get more views than anyone. Like, we try so hard, all of us, every single fucking day on our shows. But there are people who are so goddamn lazy and they get like so much more. Like one of his videos gets like as much as I get in 2 weeks total for all my videos. And that motherfucker's sitting there saying, "Yup, the game's shitty. Yup, that's stupid." I'm like, God damn, I could be doing that. What the fuck?
YouTube is not a meritocracy. It's just it's like it really it is amazing to me. Some of the absolute fucking dipshits that have audiences that add nothing of value to anything they discuss, that do zero research on anything, and bloviate on about topics they know fucking nothing about. Like, go back to talking about World of Warcraft. I'm sure he knows his World of Warcraft, but to like to try and enter these other areas and act like you're some authoritative voice, at least admit you don't know shit. If you're gonna like, when I comment on things that I have no idea about, I'm very open and honest with it, because why am I going to, you know, use my whatever credibility I have to maybe say some dumb shit? I don't, you know, when I'm commenting on some topic I don't know. But these people don't care. They don't care. Their audiences don't care. I have to imagine their audiences, like, what are they, 11, 12? Like, maybe that's why it doesn't matter. Because I can't imagine any adult listening to that clown. But
well, and speaking of people who don't know what they're talking about, there was also a debate between XQC and Adin Ross about trans rights.
Oh
and
my gosh,
I didn't get to see. I know Lance covered it. I only saw one clip online. And XQC, God bless him, he was trying his very best to like defend trans rights, but he was so wrong on what he was saying. Like, I think he meant bottom surgeries for minors, but he was saying puberty blockers. Like, that doesn't happen. I'm like, no, the whole point is that they get puberty blockers. Your heart is in the right place, but your facts are not correct.
This is why why do that debate? Like, even if like how do these people not know they don't have the ability to properly debate these topics? Like, what the hell? It's one thing for the right to do it because all their audiences are fucking morons anyways. Their audience has no fucking clue. But like, if you're going to debate the correct position, you got to come with the knowledge. Otherwise, get someone else. You have connections. I'm sure you know people who know more than you do.
Someone who was just so sick of the fact that like the right is obsessing over this issue to the point where he was like, "But do you have any examples? Do you have proof? Do you have like one case study, any data at all?" And it's like, "Well, no. Then why are you freaking out?" It's like you see one kiss on TV and it's two dudes, and you're like, "Oh, fucking gay! Oh my god, what the fuck?" And then I was like, "Oh, it's actually true." You know, like they are flipping out about that every single time. He did like crack the code that it was like, you know, ultimately straight people are used to the fact that all media is straight, just like, you know, white people are used to that all media is white. And so as soon as there's like a difference in that, it feels like oppression. It's like oppression simulated. When
really, really it's just going back to what reality is. It's just
it's just a little more representation hurts no one. No, it's great.
Okay, we're on the subject of influencers, so I do want to bring this up now.
Binder,
I thought this was fake. I thought this was fake. Apparently, this is a real tweet from Andrew Tate. This is real.
He's doing it to be clear. He's doing it for attention. I mean, it's clear in some other replies because like he's doing like what's that? One of those haha emoji faces on someone's tweet where it's like, why are you saying this? Like it's for attention, but it's obviously stupid.
Yeah, he's for sure. I think you're right, David. It just. Why are we're at the fellas, is it gay to fuck women stage of discourse? And it just makes me want to like check out.
God. He knows how to play algorithms. Like that's what this like he's an idiot, but he's a professional idiot. Like he knows how to be an idiot to make money. Like he knows what the fuck to do in order to be successful on the internet.
That's the question, right?
He's
trying to make everything gay.
Of course, this tweet from him is going to get attention because it's so obviously fucking stupid, and it's from him. Like he knows how to play people. Like this is, I try to ignore.
It's like, in a prison cell too, right?
In a prison cell.
Isn't he right now in jail? Because Adin Ross ratted out that he was about to leave Romania, which actually put him back into detention.
I forgot that.
I think he's So this is either a temp or this is what he's
tweeting from a prison cell.
Yeah,
interesting. Well, he can't have kids and children, so time's ticking. If he turns 40 and has less than 5 kids, he's probably gay. We should probably read this just in case we ever turn this into an audio podcast. But he tweeted out, "Sex is for making children." Podcast. It is.
Who would ever listen to this
on the Surf Times?
You are getting like one quarter of the context. Yeah.
Okay.
We apologize for all you.
Someone actually thanked me last time for bringing that up and for reading something.
Oh jeez.
Fair enough.
We should definitely treat the show
Matt,
like
do your best, Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
I can't. I haven't listened to him enough, honestly, to be able to even try. He does claim to have lots of children, though. He just apparently never sees them.
Oh, he does.
Well,
okay, I didn't know that.
Tired Matt Binder voice then.
He claims to. I'm exausted today. Just all this stuff.
Or a Jordan Peterson voice.
I'll just read
accept
it.
Jordan Peterson. Okay.
Andrew Tate says...
David should read it because I'm assuming he's offering because he just naturally sounds like Andrew Tate.
I sound partially British, but not really. Andrew Tate says, "Sex is for making children. Any man who has sex with women because it feels good is gay. Oh, my PP feels good. This is great. In fact, if you are 40 with less than 5 children, you're probably gay. All that feel-good PP sex and hardly any genetic legacy? Question mark. That's the tweet. It's stupid.
I'm so happy this happened.
He doesn't actually believe that. He's an idiot, but he's doing that to farm engagement, and it's working.
He hates happiness and pleasure. That's my assertion. He's made complaints about food. He's like, eating food is gay. Turning carbon into energy is gay.
Nobody believes any of these things.
To transform carbon into energy.
I refuse to believe anybody believes any of this shit. It's all for attention. If they believe it, then they wouldn't be smart enough to even open up a phone to tweet it out. No.
Imagine going through life so worried about like whether or not what you do is gay. It's like, man, I really want to have a fucking rocket pop, but I don't want to look like an F slur. So I'm just not like.
Wasn't that you when you were younger?
I mean, probably, yeah.
No, you talked about how that was you. Like you're afraid of like looking. You're afraid of looking gay.
True. There was a period after I came out where I was really worried about eating phallic shaped objects in front of other people. That's true. Yeah, rocket pops.
But that's because you were.
always worried gay
That's because you were dealing with like
that was the
internalized homophobia.
Yeah. I can't remember when. I'm blanking now. I don't know if it was after I came out or before. I think it was after I came out because I was really self-conscious for a while. But yeah, I mean, if you're straight and you're not gay, like, why?
Well,
like,
are they straight? I guess is what I'm asking.
But is
Probably
it
not
straight to be gay? Is it gay to be straight now? Is
it
straight the new gay? Is gay the new straight? Yeah, the world's changing so fast.
Fellas, listen, gay guys, if you kiss your boyfriend or your husband on the mouth like he's a lady, you're straight. Okay, don't do that shit.
Yep. If you derive pleasure from sex, you're gay. You're super gay. Super gay. Yeah.
If you hold their hand, you're straight.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what straight people do. Okay.
Yeah.
Just get it together. Don't be a strag. I feel like we are in the dumbest time in human history. Like, I know there were some pretty dark times, obviously.
With more access to information than ever before. It's both at once. we could know better. It's like
we choose not
sides.
to.
Yeah.
Let's cleanse the timeline briefly here. Here is a wonderful moment that I saw that I think is Siri is talking to me. This wonderful moment that I saw.
That's gay.
Yeah, I'm here with Lázaro Abuelo. You are a father of a student at USC who's here. Tell me why you're on campus. You also said you're a Los Angeles resident.
I am here to support my daughter. She's studying here, and they're protesting against the genocide. And that's why I am against the genocide. My family is against the genocide. We think that nobody, no kid deserves to be killed.
But why did you come down to campus?
Yeah, because my daughter started organizing too. So I say, we have to support Palestine. And that's why I am here. Not only to support Palestine, we want the genocide to stop.
Do you know where your daughter is right now?
Right now, gotta be somewhere because the police start chasing all the students. As you see, they are threatening. If we don't leave the campus, we are gonna be arrested. But the students are so brave. Look at them. They don't want to leave the campus.
Does that concern you, though, as a father, that your daughter is somewhere?
Even though it concern me, but my daughter did the right decision. If she rather to be arrested fighting for Palestine, I will be the happiest daddy. I will be the happiest daddy if she's doing the right thing. And I know she's doing the right thing. If the police arrest me now, I am willing to go with the students. I have no problem because what I am doing is the right thing, fighting against a genocide. I have kids, not only the teenagers, I have a 7 years old, and I imagine being a father in Palestine to see my kid be assassinated by Israel. That's not good. We are humanity. This is not a matter of religion, political, no. We are humans. We cannot support any genocide.
Well, we will let you go and find your daughter, and I appreciate you talking to us.
Free Palestine, always.
Thank you for talking to us.
With Palestine, always.
That was great. Wow.
He's great. I love watching that. It makes me so happy.
I haven't seen this yet. My brain is so rotten that I was like waiting for the reporter to ask, but do you condemn Hamas? Like literally, like I was waiting for that because I haven't seen it yet.
Right? I don't blame you for thinking like that. We're used to that.
He tried to make it like a personal father and daughter type thing. He kept asking him questions to sort of lead him into talking about like the personal, and the guy, this dad, stayed on message, unlike there's politicians and spokespeople for major organizations who don't stay on point like this guy did. This guy was like, even when it was like, oh, where's your daughter? Oh, she's somewhere. The police were chasing her because we're here to support Palestine. It's about Palestine. It's about He kept bringing it back like nobody. Just fantastic.
I respect him.
And then that moment
so
where
much.
he goes, if she's arrested for supporting Palestine, I will be the happiest daddy. Oh my God, I love it. My heart just.
Yeah,
I love
so
it.
wholesome. What a great dad, and just like a great person. You love to see it. That was great.
And apparently, someone posted a photo of him at the rally. He's at the dad was at the protests with what appears to be his father too. Grandpa came out.
No way.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta find it. Hold on. It's fantastic.
This is my favorite story of the week officially.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
Oh, is this it? I think I found it. Bring this up.
Yes.
Aww.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Can I be part of that family? I would like to be adopted.
I know, right?
Are they accepting applicants?
Yeah, right.
Are you my real grandpa?
That's amazing.
God, that's so awesome.
Wow.
Badass.
And honestly, to make it personal, because I think it does matter in terms of how we're going to discuss it. That's a good family. That's a loving family there. That's a kid who's going to grow up and do something with their life, and be a good human being, because they have a family that supports them and cares for them. And I think you see that a lot, and that's what a lot of conservatives do. A lot of far right people don't have. I mean, their kids don't even talk to them anymore.
Yeah. Even the homeschooled ones, they just sit in silence.
Yeah. Did you all see? So I didn't see the original video, but when I was doing research, I was trying to find. I talked about the campus protests earlier in the week. I was trying to find videos of like anti-Semitism, the most popular videos, and there was the video of that one girl with the keffiyeh around her face that said like Al-Qasim's next target. So I was trying to find the one. There was this one girl who said that she was poked in the eye at the protest, like she was assaulted. And apparently, if you see the video. She just accidentally gets bumped. I haven't seen the actual video.
Man,
but she's been everywhere.
Well, the thing that pisses me off is it's one of those situations that does two things simultaneously. One of those is that like it downplays the severity of actual like anti-Semites, Nazis, people who hate Jewish people just for being Jewish and attack them, and those are real and they happen all the time. And this one downplays the severity of that by being like, this person was attacked, stabbed in the eye with a flag. It's literally like someone passes someone else, Michael Tracy style. Like they literally just pass each other. And if you look at the POV in the video footage, you'll see that it's just someone who walked by someone else and got bumped. It's not a blinding. It's obviously an accident.
So ridiculous. Oh, that same person. So I was listening to Kyle Kulinski talk about this, and apparently that same girl who said that she was stabbed in the eye, she also made up a lie at the beginning of this, where she said something to the effect of like, "Oh, they changed the name of the couscous on the menu at our school. They took out the Israeli couscous, and it's just couscous now." Apparently that wasn't even true, but she spread that, and I guess it went viral for a moment. I didn't even hear about this part. I didn't know that. They're so disingenuous.
Why do they have to invent? Like, there's real things that they could be talking about if they want to focus on that, and they have to make shit up. It's bizarre.
Yeah, on that subject, did you see? There was also. Oh, I'm sure you all saw it. There is the video. I don't remember which university this was on, but this guy posted this tweet like, "My wife is so brave. She went to those anti-Semitic protests, and she was wearing just a blank shirt, and she wrote Jew on the front, and she wrote like Israel on the back, and she's just standing there looking really angry, and like everybody,
and literally nobody cared.
No,
everybody stand behind a giant flag that said like Jews for Palestine, like right behind it,
which was just the cherry on top.
Like a lot of these human rights groups they're led by Jewish people. This thing they're trying to invent, where like criticizing a government is somehow being anti-Semitic. How are we still having to discuss this so many months into this bullshit? Like, don't people understand by now you can criticize a state for their actions, and that doesn't mean you hate all of its people? Like, it's so absurd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the same leader of that state right now, Benjamon Netanyahu, is calling the students who are protesting terrorists, and said this was akin to the rise of Nazi Germany. And I'm like, that's pretty fucked up, right? To say about students, I would assume, or where's the America? How dare you say that about me feeling sentiment? Americans, come on, get more riled up about it.
They're all saying it too. Alison Camerota. No, not Alison Camerota. There was a different CNN host who said that like, this is like a canary in a coal mine. Like these students, the anti-Semitism that we're seeing, I'm paraphrasing, of course, this is like a sign of the downfall of democracy. It's like, okay, you have actual Nazis in this country on the rise now, the proliferation of white supremacy and like actual anti-Semitism. It's proliferating, and you're focusing on these students. Like the actual Nazis must be so happy right now, right? It's like whenever... Sorry,
to your point. Well, to your point, Mike, I don't know if you remember this, but Greg Abbott is one of the people who's like proposing to send in the National Guard right now, or something even more extreme than that. So from December 2nd, 2023, Texas GOP Executive Committee rejects proposed ban on associating with Nazi sympathizers and Holocaust deniers because it might be a, quote, slippery slope or too vague. Yeah, so definitely really care about those Nazis. Care about the Nazis. Yeah,
anti-Semitism is definitely
bad. Yeah, don't pass a law that doesn't allow you to associate with anti-Semites. You know, because that could be a slippery slope. Who knows? There could be a good anti-Semite amongst them. You got to wait, right?
They don't want to actually hurt their own voters, right?
Yes.
That's their constituents.
Exactly.
So
want to alienate your base. Come on.
Yeah, it reminds me of like whenever, and I made this point in a recent video. Whenever the right accuses LGBTQ plus people of being groomers and child predators, the actual pedophiles must be super happy about that because like it's distracting away from them, and everyone's looking at innocent people. And the same is true here, right? Like the Nazis are able to just like breeze by when these students are getting demonized. And that's what makes it so dangerous is that anti-Semitism is on the rise. Like it's an actual problem. And all these claims of, criticizing Israel as anti-Semitic, like that just minimizes actual anti-Semitism. And the way that the Holocaust has been minimized as well in the midst of this, it really is so disturbing because like these people are so disingenuous, and it's just the ends justify the means, right? Like defend Israel no matter what, distract, deflect. It's just so frustrating.
Nazis are not chanting from the river to the sea. They're chanting Jews will not replace us. That's what Nazis are chanting. That's the Nazi chant, It's
but
very
this is the
clear.
Same according to John Fetterman, a Fox News host, Eve Fartlow. They're all saying this is like Charlottesville. It's the brainworms is just out of control in these people. I feel like I can't believe that they believe their own bullshit, right? Like there's no way. They're being
it's hard to believe that that's it's hard to believe they're that fucking stupid. Like they're a lot of them are being paid. We know Fetterman has received a shit ton of money from groups aligned with the right-wing Israeli government. So it's I'm sure a lot of it is born from that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not cutting out, am I? Somebody says they keep losing me. It might be your internet if it's...
No.
You sound good to me.
Okay.
There was also this piece in... Let me bring this up. In Zateo.
Oh, right.
I'm a Jewish student at Columbia. Don't believe what you're being told about campus anti-Semitism. So, I mean, it's a great piece worth reading, but this paragraph really helps to summarize his thoughts here. Here's what you're not being told. The most pressing threats to our safety as Jewish students do not come from tents on campus. Instead, they come from the Columbia administration inviting police into campus, certain faculty members, and third-party organizations that dox undergraduates. Frankly, I regret the fact that writing to confirm the safety of Jewish Ivy League students feels justified in the first place. I have not seen many pundits hand-wringing over the safety of my Palestinian colleagues, mourning the deaths of family members or the destruction of Gaza's cherished universities. So this is, the entire narrative, the entire week from, all media organizations, whether it's, MSNBC or Fox News, has been, Jewish students are they're being targeted, they're at risk because of these protests against the Israeli government. No, Jewish students are just as much a part of these protests as anybody else. But what they're at risk of is being, having their head bashed by police. Like the fact that the faculty, or not faculty, the who runs the universities, that they called the police like immediately to crack down on this shit is really disturbing. And we're also not seeing a lot of coverage on stuff like this. Massive faculty walkout at Columbia opposing the university's decision to call in the NYPD on Palestine solidarity protests. So faculty coming out in support with the students. And again, the narrative being pushed out is, these students they're so disruptive, destructive, threatening. Faculty is right there along with them because, again, it's all bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was also Peter Beinart made a really good point. He said that whenever he goes to college campuses, he usually asks them, what percentage of students here are Jewish? And he says that a lot of them are overrepresented in these crowds. Like in many instances, they're leading the charge, and they're the ones getting penalized. So Jewish Voice for Peace, I didn't know this. It was actually banned at Columbia University. Why would you ban that group? And why is nobody saying that that's anti-Semitic? You know what I mean? Like the one Jewish pro-Palestinian group gets banned.
Yeah, I also just heard about that this week. That apparently happened like months ago. Again, if these media organizations actually cared about anti-Semitism on college campuses, that would have been a massive story. but it's not a massive story because it's perfectly in line with how they feel about Israel. But once you challenge the state of Israel and challenge what they are doing, that's when it becomes a problem.
Right. Yeah. I will say, though, that like this is all kind of having a bit of a Streisand effect in the sense that more people are learning about the protests. Students across the country are now joining in on college campuses. And I think that the more that they try to crack down on these protests, the more blowback that they're going to receive. And they're just going to continue to grow because this is turning into an actual full-fledged movement on college campuses. It probably already is that. And that's really encouraging to see because, you know, when you're faced with police brutality and repression and suspension, you know, there's a disincentive there, right? You know, in your own self-interest, it would behoove you to not do that. But these students are putting their necks on the line because they just care. And yet we have people like, I think it was the Wall Street Journal, I don't remember who wrote it, saying like, oh, are these protesters, they're funded by Hamas or Iran and Hezbollah. It's just, they can't fathom the fact that people just genuinely don't want to see their country commit a genocide. Yeah, exactly, Lance.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, what's going on with TikTok America? What y'all doing?
Yeah, we are getting our VPNs downloaded.
You mean there's a way around this?
yeah, apparently so. Well, the original TikTok ban that was passed by the House in like I want to say March, that one gave the company 6 months to divest. This time it gives them 9 to 12 months. And with this longer time frame, I think that it's going to be extended even further because they have more time to fight this in the courts. And I think that there's a good chance. I mean, it depends on which court it ends up in. I think there's a good chance that this gets struck down because certain states have tried to ban TikTok. I think it was Montana that actually passed a TikTok ban, and that was struck down because it's unconstitutional. So I think that now that there's a little bit more time, I do feel more optimistic about it. And for like to me, I kind of feel like this is a bit of virtue signaling to the wrong people for Biden, right? Like he's doing this to signal to Israel, hey, I still have your back, when he should be signaling to young people, hey, you know, I've got your back and I'm here for you. But instead he's like, hey, fuck you, you know, by doing this.
Oh, it's so fucked.
He's doing the opposite of everything he should be trying to do right now. Like every action he is taking, every major action, high profile action he's taking is indirect, like it directly hurts the base that he needs to come out to vote for him. It's like who is in control of his campaign or the white, like do they care at all? Are they working on behalf of Trump? Like at this point, I would question, are people in there like purposely trying to help Trump win? Because this is how fucking stupid this shit appears to me. Yeah. Like how they can't be this fucking stupid to think that this is somehow going to benefit him. It's unbelievable.
What about regulating social media though? Like any social media, do that. Like regulate social media. I'm on board. Do that, baby. You like go after Facebook, go after all.
Well, yeah,
of them.
corporate.
Like,
corporate control.
That'd be awesome.
Break them up. That'd be great.
What's this? What's this TikTok? I looked up what happened to TikTok in India when it was banned, and guess what? Instagram suddenly replaced it. Exact same thing that'll happen here. This is a gift to Elon Musk. This is a gift to Mark Zuckerberg. This is a gift to any other person who wants to compete in capitalism. This is like, oh my God, you know,
big tech loves this because these American Silicon Valley, you know, tech bros, they've been wanting this, you know. And one thing that is hilarious about this is that I think it was Ken Klippenstein for The Intercept. He had a story about how as Biden signs the TikTok ban, he's quietly recruiting TikTok influencers to help him campaign, which is just. And listen, any TikTok influencer, if he asks you and you don't tell him to go fuck himself, you're a fucking sellout. Like that is so like you cannot promote this man as
are they paying for it? Are they paying them?
I would imagine they're going to be paid.
Oh, take the fucking money and then talk shit about it.
So. Yeah.
Take the fucking money and then talk your shit.
Man, you know, this back in 2020, I remember laughing at Biden because they were creating Animal Crossing islands to try to like hello fellow kids their way to the election. That's brilliant compared to this shit that he's doing. Go back to the Animal Crossing stuff, man.
Oh no, this is Pokemon Go to the polls.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. Go back to Pokemon Go to the polls. That's where we're at this point. That seems like, brilliant by comparison.
People say you can't watch TikTok in China. Yeah, but do you want to be cucked by China, America? You could be more free than China. What way to cuck China in the process? Isn't that your dream? I feel like you're not living your dream. America, you could be your true selves. Come on, do it.
But one thing that kind of pissed me off is the Biden people, they responded. I don't know who said this, but they were like, oh, so you think that young people, they care only about TikTok? How insulting is that? And it's like, okay, first of all, you're not on their side, so fuck you. Second of all, like, it's not that this is just about an app, right? Like, any app in a vacuum doesn't really matter.
Oh,
it's
no, TikTok,
about,
they're terrible. They're insidious. They do terrible things with your data. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like all companies.
Yeah. Exactly.
But it's about, like, what motivated us, right? It's not only that you're not being receptive to calls for a ceasefire permanently, but you're going out of your way to gaslight and lie to us. And the reason why people aren't believing your lies, in part, is because a lot of people get their news from TikTok. If TikTok's not here, they'll get it from somewhere else, but you're not going to keep the truth from them. So it's not just about him banning this one app. It's about, like, the lead up to this and everything that he's trying to do to basically trick the American people into thinking that everything is fine and there's not a genocide going on. And that's what's really fucked up. And not to mention, like, sure, it's just an app, but, like, if YouTube was deleted, my livelihood goes out the window like that. A lot of people, they launched small businesses on TikTok. There are literally millions of businesses. And if they don't have a business that they launched on TikTok, if they're not making money doing influencer bullshit, then they promote their businesses on TikTok in the same way that they would on Facebook. And so, like, this is actually going to, like, really, I think, mobilize people politically, possibly, because they're losing their livelihoods, right?
And you should also regulate all social media. Do that. I'm on board with. That's something everyone can get on board with. We know that it can be pernicious. We know that AI is really insidious in the way that it makes us continuously, angrier and all that kind of stuff. If you want to regulate social media as a whole and start to be able to try and, pass the same kind of legislation that, like, Europe does, that kind of stuff, all on board. But specifically just being like, TikTok makes people anti-Semitic because China and something else, the other thing. Then what are we doing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, silly Trump. Oh, no, that's Biden. Wild. Okay. All right. Cool. Good stuff. All right.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. And if they cared about our data and our privacy, I mean, why are you letting data brokers sell our information? Like, the administration did something to limit the companies that can give our money to China and Russia. But it's like there's still American data brokers that can take our information and sell it. So if you actually cared about data and privacy, you wouldn't just go after TikTok. It's politically motivated. It was politically motivated when Trump signed an executive order trying to ban TikTok, and it's politically motivated now. And, like, there are Republicans who are basically admitting, yeah, I mean, these kids are anti-Semitic. They get their news from TikTok. That's why you got to ban it. Like, they said this on the floor when they were debating this.
Yeah. How many minutes? Every, like, 17 minutes you spend on TikTok makes you, like, 12% more.
Yeah, that was the shit Nikki Haley was saying on the debate stage that we all laughed at. That these people that are on board with the TikTok ban were laughing at, and I was just like, oh, Nikki Haley was right. It's so stupid.
I don't think they understand how the algorithm works. Like, it doesn't just, like, all of a sudden say, hey, here's some terrible bullshit. Like, it often shows you what you want to see, because that's what keeps you on the app for the longest amount of time. So if you're already pro-Palestine, sorry.
Yeah, and also, of course, by anti-Semitic, Nikki Haley meant that they're educating people on what the state of Israel is doing. Not that they're actually, like, in her mind, that, if you're criticizing Israel, you are anti-Semitic. But in reality, it's not. I mean, maybe there's some corners of the app that are doing that, but there's not. But that isn't, like, the prevalence of
yeah. But those are the ones that,
what
like,
they're worried about.
Ban. Like, I'd like to get rid of Holocaust.
Yes, if you want to get rid of that, go right ahead. Like, I got no issue getting rid of that.
Yeah, cool.
But that's not what their focus actually
Cancel
is.
culture that shit. Let's 1984 Holocaust deniers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't think that's going to play well. I just ultimately, like, I agree with you. I think, David, you said it. Like, what is Biden doing? You could have had 2 weeks of solid Biden wins in which you stack so many things. What the no longer NDAs being able to be done by corporations, net neutrality being restored, a whole bunch of victories for unionization, especially amongst auto workers, even in the South. Like, these are huge things. What is it? The threshold for people who want to apply for benefits as civil workers went down. And all that is being dwarfed by why the fuck do you keep supporting Israel? Why are you banning TikTok? What are you doing? Like, you are self-destructing in real time. As like on the other end, I don't know if y'all watched what was happening with SCOTUS and what's happening with Trump. Like, I know it's a distraction. He falls asleep in the courtroom, and apparently the president may or may not be above the own crimes that he commits during office, that kind of stuff. Like, but that's also, I don't know, somewhat prescient if he does come back to power, if he's able to pardon himself and not be held accountable for any of his own crimes, and especially when one of those crimes is trying to rig an election. I don't know. It just seems like wild times. David, you're right. We should talk about anything but then.
Apparently he farts a lot in court too. His lawyers are like,
yeah.
Are we really reporting on this? Like, is this serious? He's shitting himself or something? I mean,
do you know how hard? Do you know how hard it is? Like, I wish I had like if I could afford producers or like people to like find me stories, because I go online every day and it's like Trump farted or he fell asleep in court, and the other half are these campus protests, and like there's nothing else happening apparently. Like, it's just these two news stories, nothing else going on. Like, where's the other news? This is why I covered like 4 Canadian videos in the past week. Like,
I saw
like
that you went super
wacky Canadian. Because I'm like, nothing is interesting here. I've covered all this shit a million times. Let me cover something different. So actually today I did another I did 2 Ontario specific stories in a week, which is
a week of Canada.
Not usually what I do. But I mean, actually the story today is related to everything we're talking about.
Sarah Jama?
Yeah, Sarah Jama, MPP Sarah Jama, who's now an independent lawmaker because the NDP booted her after her stance on Gaza. But she was asked to leave the Ontario legislature because she was wearing a keffiyeh, which last week is now banned from the Ontario legislature because it is viewed as a political prop. Yet the same person. So I want to be clear that the vast majority of the government did not vote for this. Like, it's like 2 people that they basically needed unanimous consent to shoot it down, and they didn't get that. There's like 2 or 3 people within the Conservative Party that are for banning this. But even Doug Ford, the Conservative leader, is not for banning the keffiyeh, though he has a by-election coming up in Milton, and he's afraid of angering some potential voters there. So that is likely the reason for that. But let me bring this image up, because this is like just the image of it alone, like the image of this fucking.
And to be clear, you can wear dog tags that say "Bring them home."
Yeah, actually,
that's
not
not
say that.
Political.
Yeah. So
I was going to say that's not considered political at all to bring into Parliament. So
one of the MPPs that voted to support the ban of the keffiyeh is the same person that wore these dog tags saying "Bring them home." Somehow that's not a symbol. Also, like, how about a cross? That could be viewed as political under the exact same standard.
Yeah. Are they saying that the keffiyeh is anti-Semitic? Because I feel like that's next in America. I don't know if it's there.
They're just saying it's political.
It could potentially be supporting extremism, I think, was the actual justification.
Oh, okay. So we're close.
Look at this fucking.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild just to see this?
Yeah.
A picture's worth 1,000 words.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. And he had to walk back in disgrace when she refused, by the way.
Yeah. So she didn't take it off. So she was refused. So. In response, she wasn't allowed to cast any votes. So basically denying her constituents a voice because she's wearing a scarf. Like, it's wild.
Wow, I never thought that I'd say this, but what the fuck, Canada? Get it together.
Canada's racist. What? The colonial project that is Canada?
I would have never thought that our neighbors would be as bad as us.
Bill Maher had so much content to work with, and he had to make shit up to criticize Canada when he had a whole wealth of things to talk about.
It's racist as fuck. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, we have actual issues he could have discussed. But no, we have problems for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Not a real confident. Yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair to Canada, like 50% of your problem stems from your proximity to the United States, where we just rub off on you. We're like a big brother that's like such a bad influence. You know, we teach you to do all these
military. We get away with so much. We couldn't excavate all these like resources from around the world if we weren't backed by the U.S. You think the mining companies would have the audacity? Like, no. Yeah, we need your military so badly.
Oh yeah, we are emboldened for sure.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It really is amazing to see all over the West, just the crackdown on just, God forbid you say something in pro-Palestinian, pro-Palestine, you share some sort of empathy with the people in Gaza. I mean, it is unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
And depressing.
It's I don't even know, like it's like complete, like I don't have words for it anymore, honestly. Like I just want to like punch a wall.
I feel you, Matt.
It's exhausting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like and it's not just like that's the reaction. It's also like the gaslighting on top of that all. Like the idea that young people, the most progressive generation, all of a sudden just full of anti-Semites. What are they saying that's anti-Semitic? Oh, they're waving the Palestinian flag. Oh, they're
watermelon stickers.
They got watermelon stickers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They're wearing a keffiyeh.
Yep.
They're saying to stop killing children in Gaza.
Stop starving them too.
I can't.
They're anti-Zionist, which means anti-Jewish person. They're anti-Israel, which means anti-Semitic. That was an argument that somebody actually made on MSNBC. He said, and by anti-Israel, they really, we really mean anti-Jew because that's what they are.
And I saw that too, putting words in their mouth. Like, no, that's clearly two very different things.
Yeah.
You just have to conflate the, and of course, no pushback, right? Like, just goes on to say what he wants.
Like these are the very serious people, right? These are the TV pundits, the talking heads. These are the serious people that get invited on these shows over and over and over and over and over again. And it's not even like, at the very, like we were talking shit about Piers Morgan before. At least Piers Morgan, at least in order to get his clickbait, he brings on people who are pro-Palestinian. So at least there's a voice on that. I'm not heralding Piers Morgan, but I'm saying Piers Morgan is bottom of the barrel. Yet even he does that.
Yeah, he's closer to reality than the big.
But we're supposed to take
networks.
CNN and MSNBC and the New York Times and all these outlets that have on all these very important, very serious people, the David Frums. The same people over and over and over again. The head of the ADL, what's his face? Greenblatt.
Yeah.
Over and over. These are the very serious people. They're the very serious people. He was on MSNBC earlier today on Joe Biden's favorite show, Morning Joe, saying that Jewish Voice for Peace is actually the campus wing of Hezbollah.
What? That sounds like literal defamation.
Hold on. I want to see this on video.
No, I gotta see.
I think I saw part of the quote. Now I rolled my eyes.
Oh man,
I gotta find it.
Just to emphasize, this is what the head of the Anti-Defamation League said. Just so we're correct,
wild.
right?
That's wild.
Yes.
They're actually
it's only
doing
defamation when it's anti-Israel.
Okay. Right.
There you go. I just dropped it in the.
Okay, here I'll pull it up.
Wow. Okay. It's one of those things where I keep being told that all of this is anti-Semitic to attend these rallies that are run by Jewish people. These rallies organized by Jewish students, Jewish protesters, Jewish activists, like that massive one, not in our name, that was just recently thrown together that people were like getting arrested at. Again, anti-Semitic, apparently. Deeply anti-Semitic.
So
about time that the presidents and the campus administrators across the country started again simply saying, you got to play by the rules. I mean, talk about the height of entitlement, right? Thinking that you can just act with impunity wherever you want. It's funny. We're talking about Iran a few minutes ago. Iran has their military proxies like Hezbollah, and Iran has their campus proxies like these groups like SJP and JVP. Look at them. I mean, this is literally like a demonstration in Tehran. And you can't believe it's happening in Morningside Heights.
Actual, I might even say.
As you know, President Shafiq.
Also, notice how he doesn't read it out. He says JVP. He purposely doesn't say. He uses the acronym purposely because he's not going to say Jewish Voice for Peace. Unfucking believable. God.
And no pushback though. No pushback. Like. like I honestly like I've always said, I've said ever since, like every single time there's some sort of event, some sort of protest, some sort of movement, I say, you know, at least we're not reliving post 9/11 news media, where it honestly felt like anyone who was the sensible voice in saying we should not go to war, we should not invade Iraq, WMDs is a lie, it's not, there's no, it's not, they're lying to us. All those people were treated like they were fucking insane conspiracy theorists.
Terrorists.
And they were given, they're terrorists, and they were given no voice in any cable news, conversations, the media.
Oh, that was real cancel culture.
It was all.
They took down the Dixie Chicks. The Dixie Chicks.
But ever since then, I've said, you know, whatever happens, it'll never be that bad again, because, you know, they just can't do that anymore. We've gotten to the point. Social media is too strong for it. And I mean, I guess because social media still exists and we're able to have this conversation right here on YouTube and on Twitch or whatever, I guess it's still not as bad as then, where we couldn't be doing this. But this is honestly the closest I felt it get to. Like right now, this moment
all
is
the time.
Truly the closest I've felt it get to that point. And it's alarming. To take a line from Elon Musk, it's concerning. I mean, it is
looking into it.
It is insane. It is insane. It is absolutely insane. And like,
it's the upside down. You're always being told the opposite of what is actually happening. You always witness these headlines where you're like, that's not true though. That's like, again, they discovered all these bodies there. This is fucked. So fucked. I don't know. I think that's what's causing a lot of the disconnect between a lot of people. Like, you know, just right out of the gates where David's like, fucking, you know, that's the most energetic I think I've seen David Doel out of the intro of a show. But it's true. That's how everyone's been feeling. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Right.
What the fuck? All day. What the fuck?
No, that's me constantly.
Like,
here's the thing, though. This will continue to happen because there's been no mea culpa from the Iraq war and the lies that happened there.
That's why Frum is still on television. Yeah, David Frum still on television.
There's
still seen as a voice you have to respect.
We have never.
We don't try war criminals.
We have never truly dealt with the immense Islamophobia that came out of that era and still exists, honestly. But we've never had that moment of, this is wrong. This was wrong. What were we doing? There's been no looking back and coming to terms and saying this person should not be given a microphone because they did this and they knew they were doing this. And because of what they spoke out about, it led to this, this, and that, and people are dead. Until that happens, these same people will be on TV until they die. And then I guess we'll get their kids, their Nepo babies, to just continue their legacy like we're already seeing, honestly. Like that fucking kid, the kid of...
No, I'm just saying that's such an important point because, like, at the end of the day, like, all of us, we're not the people who post 9/11. Like, one of my best friends, his family is Sikh, and every single time we went to the U.S., every time we crossed the border, random security check. Oh, you're brown. Oh, you're definitely going to be a terrorist. That culture, that atmosphere, no one was held accountable for spreading that nonsense that every single Muslim, every single brown person, every single Arab, they're terrorists. They're potential terrorists, at least at the very, and we should treat them as potential terrorists. That never went away. Like, that's your bigger point, right? The post 9/11 climate that everyone's like, don't fall into the traps of 9/11 again. We didn't learn anything. How do we fall back into the same traps we didn't take ourselves out of? Is more the bigger point, right? We're still in that shit.
Yeah.
People still haven't unpacked any part of that.
Yeah, like explicit racism was actually promoted on mainstream media. Like, I don't think people who are young understand it was explicit racism, and like the white people were being accused of being terrorist sympathizers. So like every single brown person was just thought, yeah, they were just thought to be a terror. Like, it was so explicit. Like, if you could find clips of the post 9/11 era, it will blow your fucking mind. As bad as it is today, it was wild.
I honestly, again, if it wasn't for social media, I think we're right there again. I don't think there's any change. The cable news is exactly the fucking same. There's absolutely no difference. This is the same conversations happening on every friggin' cable news show, on every news talk show, period. No change, no difference. You see someone wearing some sort of Islamic religious garb, you fucking see, they'll talk down about them. It doesn't fucking matter. The assumption, even from progressives, that Muslim women are like being forced upon this here when they live in the United States, and it's not their choice to wear it, even when they're out there saying, this is my religion, I'm wearing this because I want to wear it.
I had to unpack so much of that. It's so much of that. So much of posts like, what is it, the new atheist movement, where I was like, oh, women are being forced to wear hijabs against their will and all this kind of stuff. And then like you actually listen to interviews where it's like, this actually brings me closer to God. This is about my relationship with God. I shouldn't be forced to dress a certain way. And then you're like, oh shit. So I was still doing the impression. Didn't even unpack that part of it. Fucked up. Crazy. Yeah.
And there's no powerful interest behind, and there shouldn't be that for anybody, but the fact of the matter is there are powerful interests for everybody, except honestly in this country, at least it seems like, for Arab people, Middle Eastern people, Muslim people. There's no like, well, like how many Muslim people are even in Congress? What, 2? Right?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
There's no voice for them. And it's been okay for decades now just to say whatever the fuck you want about them, and it's just it's just wiped away, brushed aside. In a way that I'm not saying everything's hunky-dory for everybody else, but, saying something explicitly racist or anti-Semitic would probably get you fired from most jobs. In a way I just don't think would happen for, if you were to say, that person's wearing a turban, which isn't even Islamic, but that person's wearing a turban, I'm scared that person's might be a terrorist. It wouldn't even be a blip. Wouldn't be a blip.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy racist to think, right? Just to be like, if you see something, say something. I'm just like, I was at an airport, I was a little worried. I don't know, that they had a suitcase and they were wearing a turban. So I had to say something. That's fucked up. That's weird. That it's just like, that's normalized. We're just like, yeah, that they could be terrorists. There could be a bomb in there. They want to murder everybody here because of Islam. Yeah.
It shows how deeply brainwashed society was during that time.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm talking a lot now because I suddenly woke up after letting you guys talk for the.
No, feel free, man.
Now he's got the passion now.
I needed that time to sort of let it build up.
Level up.
For me to just.
He got you fired up.
You've assumed your ultimate form. Yeah,
because I had my kid's soccer practice earlier. And I worked earlier. Majority part. It was a busy day, so I needed a moment. But no, we are seeing this like with the most basic of like Palestinian identity, like. When they talk about, there's anti-Semitic imagery or anti-Semitic slogans on campus at these protests, and you go, what are you talking about? And what do you hear? Oh, they're waving the Palestinian flag, and that makes me uncomfortable. The Palestinian flag, their identity, what they use to represent themselves as a people. Their very being makes me feel uncomfortable. Oh,
their existence.
We need to do something about that because we can't have these very important students feel uncomfortable because they're pro-Israel, right? They can't feel uncomfortable on their campus. Doesn't matter if it was the other way around. Those students, it's free speech, baby. You just gotta suck it up, Buttercup. I mean, we see this right now with all the right wingers. Who were talking big shit. You guys were bringing it up before about how, what was it in University of Austin, right? I think you guys brought it up. They literally put out a video 6 months ago about how anyone could come on campus, even if you don't go to the school, even if you're not a student. This is a free speech zone. You could come on campus and freely talk about whatever you'd like. And of course, when they say this, they're talking about the right-wingers and white supremacists and conspiracy theorists who have a right to go on there and say 6 million really didn't die in the Holocaust. That's legitimate speech if it's coming from a white supremacist. Maybe he's got a KKK hood on. Maybe he's carrying the Confederate flag. It's free speech, though. We have to accept that. It's free speech. But now they've changed that rule because pro-Palestine students are out there criticizing Israel. That's not free speech anymore. Now they put out a rule. You can't come onto campus.
I've never seen a police response in any way like similar. I've never seen Nazis in Texas get fucking trampled by the cops like this because they're on a highway just being like, whites only, shit like that. And you're like, I don't see fucking cops swarm in and trample. I would be like, oh shit, I disagree with the rest of the left. ACAB, fuck all of y'all. This is crazy. Like,
cops
you don't see that shit. Yeah.
Cops want to swarm them, Lance, but they're resisting the urge to swarm and join the protest. That's
right.
The thing.
That's part of it too. You're
like, if we go there, I know I'm just going to start waving some flags, so I'm going to resist.
I mean, it's pretty clear that the cops love this shit. Like, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
like, they look forward to cracking down on
some of them.
These
come
left-wing
on,
protests.
please.
The way they brutalize these protesters in a way that they don't brutalize, like we were
Nazis
just mentioned, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the video, by the way, that was delisted that you're talking about. University of Texas, which mass arrested protesters, has a video promoting free speech, saying that anybody from the public can come to campus and engage in protest. And they delisted the video and turned off the comments.
Delisted?
Wow. It's incredible. Let's watch at least
Free Speech Week.
Why can members of the public come to campus at any time and engage in demonstrations and speeches?
So state law in Texas actually allows members of the public, just like our university community, to come onto campus and use our common outdoor areas for speech activity. I think that surprises a lot of students. They show up here and they think, who is this random stranger setting up a table talking about a thing I find upsetting? But that's protected by state law.
Can you pause
and members of the public, just like
Damn.
Sorry, students, if you find this upsetting to listen to. This guy, this weirdo who's come onto your campus, handing out pamphlets about how if you're LGBTQ, you're going to hell. I'm sorry if that's uncomfortable. That's free speech. Oh, wait. Stop the bombing of the Israeli airstrikes in Gaza. Get the fuck out of here. Like, that's literally the smirk.
Yeah.
You know exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah, you know what's on her mind when she's saying this.
Some kids, some snowflakes are worried about the weirdo over there with bringing his table with paraphernalia. You know exactly the type of people she's talking about, and she's backing them up and saying they have every right to be there. But then, of course, we know who doesn't have a right to be there as of today.
Yeah, and it's not like this hypocrisy is new, by the way, because Texas is one of 38 states that has anti-BDS laws. So they were already hypocritical. Like, this whole free speech facade, it's bullshit. It's free speech for me, but not thee, right? So, yeah.
University community can use our common outdoor areas. Now, it isn't a free-for-all. So when you say why can they come at any time? There's some nuance there. It's subject to
they could
our
come,
university rules
Israeli
that are permitted
time,
under
not
the law.
Palestinian time. That's the time. Palestinian time, not allowed. Israeli time, IDF time, Zionist time,
anti-gay
white
time,
supremacist time, Confederacy time, Proud Boy time, QAnon time, MAGA time. I keep going on. KKK
Stephen
time.
Crowder time.
Stephen Crowder time, anti-choice time. Those are the hours you could come onto campus. Palestinian time.
Too much moisture. Wow.
We're closed. We're closed during the hours of Gaza to the West Bank.
Interesting.
Should we watch? Is it worth watching all this? Do you guys want to watch this? It's just going to be
necessary. We should play the other clip.
I think we get the point.
Open it off stream, but I put in your messages in the group a really inspiring video by a Holocaust survivor who's at the protests right now giving a speech. It's way more wholesome.
You linked to something?
It's in the Leftist Mafia Twitter.
Oh, Twitter.
Yeah. Just you, me,
Everyone
David.
just
Let's
left.
talk about Canada.
Everyone just left. Yeah, I was bringing up.
Oh
the
no,
clip.
Matt's back. I mean, America.
I am a Holocaust survivor. I do not deserve.
Listen to all those anti-Semites.
Semites, right?
Yelling at that Holocaust survivor. Shouting her down. You heard that she tried to talk and they yelled. They yelled. All those
They cheered for her and she said, "Don't
They
cheer
cheered for her when she was like, "I don't want to applaud." I'm like, anti-Semites.
I do not deserve applause. I am here because I experienced as a child every single thing that a child is experiencing on a daily basis, including the loss of my family, including war, firebombing, and you name it. It pleases me to no end to see that you are here. I take courage and inspiration from you to keep going. I'm 88 years old. I am a civil rights activist. When I came to America as an almost 17-year-old in New York City, I discovered America. I discovered the racism, and I became an activist against war, justice, and I'm here as a peace activist. We need to bring this to an end. There is no excuse for the slaughter of 15,000 children and untold others.
Anti-Semitic
we
rally.
have to act with peace and love. And I am proud to be here with you, and I hope you will continue. We are on the side of justice and peace.
How much did Hezbollah pay this lady to show up?
Yeah, that's definitely
amazing. 88 years old. Wow. Oh my god.
Yeah.
The media would watch that and unironically call her anti-Semitic or pro-Hamas.
Oh, of course.
Why
You see her pro-Hamas speech?
If you actually are part of a news media organization, why aren't you having this lady on to talk? This seems newsworthy, right? These protests we're hearing all these things about. Why is this 88-year-old Holocaust survivor going and talking to them? Maybe we should get her opinion on this matter to see what a 88-year-old Holocaust survivor thinks of these protests, instead of just any old fucking random New York op-ed writer schmuck. But no, they don't have this lady on. They don't have this lifelong civil rights activist, Holocaust survivor on their shows. Of course not.
Yeah.
I mean, if they really want to,
sense.
The goal is to turn the public against these college students. So, and if they really want to do that, if they're really that anti-Semitic, just stick cameras in their faces. Let them spew their anti-Semitism. Wait, they're not doing that, though, because the media knows that they're not actually anti-Semitic, right? Like, this isn't a hate group. This is about stopping genocide.
How many pro-Hamas videos did this 88-year-old spring chicken see on TikTok? That's my question.
How many minutes was she radicalized? Are you saying we got to
shows just how powerful China is?
Yeah, 1 minute on TikTok is all it takes.
I saw this tweeted out. This was, I think, just quickly worth mentioning here.
Okay,
it's not related.
After we're done serious topics, I have one silly topic to close us out. I do want to talk about Goonergate.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
But who?
Goonergate. It's Gamergate 3.0, but I'm calling it Goonergate.
Shut up. 3.0. Okay. Yeah. This one. I just saw this tweet blew up because it's so stupid.
Oh, this is amazing. Hey, can we vote for Target? Is Target?
This is Hillary Clinton saying, "What's at stake for our climate in this November's elections? Absolutely everything." And then she shows a Trump election. This is a graph. A Trump election could add 4 billion tons to U.S. emissions by 2030.
I don't know, y'all.
And
I'm voting for Target.
It shows how bad Trump is. Biden's a little better, but the graph also shows the target, which Biden is nowhere near.
I agree with H Bomber Guy. Target 2024. Yeah.
It's just, yeah. So it just, I don't know. I found it kind of funny that she didn't think this made her look stupid, but whatever.
It's also an issue that like literally like it actually, if we don't hit the target, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter that Biden's a little bit lower, closer to the target.
The targets aren't even right. Yeah, the targets aren't even aren't even where they need to be.
Like this is like saying if we don't hit 0, we all die on this date. And you're going, well, Trump is hitting 60 and Biden got to 55. Who fucking cares? We're dead. You didn't hit 0.
That's a
like,
great way to phrase
matter.
it. I think I'm gonna steal that. That's a great way to phrase that. Absolutely.
Like it doesn't fucking matter.
Oh, Lance left just in time for us to hear about Gamergate 3.0. I'm dying to know what the hell.
Yeah.
I thought we were just in 2.0. How did we get to 3.0? What happened?
I don't even know what he's talking about.
They were grinding to level up faster.
Well, so as you wait for him, what else is here?
Yeah, I was trying to find the video. So I mentioned it earlier about the girl who has been on every single network, Fox News, Piers Morgan, saying that she was assaulted brutally so at one of these pro-Hamas rallies. And she had her eye poked out or gouged or something like that. I found the actual video finally. And this truly is shocking. And I hope she's okay because, oh my God. Okay, let me actually share this because this is the first time I'm seeing the actual video.
Make sure it's not actually like, I don't want to see any gruesomeness. There's no gruesomeness, right?
Oh, it's very gruesome.
It's very brutal. It's just the bloodiest thing you've ever seen.
It's
the bloody mess.
Yeah, warning to everyone. Yeah.
No. Is that actually the video?
That's the video.
This
so wait, she was recording?
This is just to give you finish it. So at the end, let people watch it one more time. It's almost done.
That looks like somebody joked.
Just to give you an idea of who this person is, this lady is, this student is. If you're wondering, is she some sort of bad actor or provocateur? Same student who many months ago, you might remember, claimed that the school renamed the Israeli kokosis salad, where the fuck it's called, just to kokosis salad. And then someone pointed out that that's not true. It's still the Israeli salad. Like, that was her big deal. That they changed the name from the Israeli salad. That's the same person, yeah.
So this is...
She tried to make she tried to make a big deal out of that, yes.
Yeah, I have her Fox News interview that I could pull up where she talks about this brutal attack. Take a look at her eye because, man, it looks so bad. Give me 1 second. Okay. Oh, there we go.
Anti-Jewish.
Okay. Let me just start it over so you get the whole thing.
So over the course of the past week,
look at her eye. It's horrible.
Anti-Jewish students at Yale have taken over a central plaza on campus by setting up, among other things, a tent encampment, a memorial to a terrorist named Walid Daka, who led the mutilation and murder of a 19-year-old Israeli. A life-sized F-16 covered in fake blood to represent the Israeli military, and protests and chanting and sit-ins and talks throughout the course of the week, including intimidation of incoming freshmen at Yale during admitted student stays. And this has culminated in 2 nights of protests and camping out by nearly 100 students staying overnight at about 40 tents, and about 500 students each night starting on Friday night standing outside in this plaza, yelling and screaming, calling for there is one solution, intifada revolution. And on
How long is this? Oh, we're not watching 3 minutes of it. she's so boring.
She's finally getting to the eye stabbing where she describes it.
And I can't attend these things on the Sabbath, but I attended on Saturday night. And on Saturday night,
it's traumatizing.
Sorry.
It's okay, take your time.
When I got there with another friend of mine who's also really visibly Jewish, the two of us are quite obvious. I wear modest dress, and I have a Star of David, and my friend has a black hat and a beard and ritual fringes called tzitzit on the sides of his shirt, and they identified us pretty much immediately as in the protest organizers, and they made like a human blockade in front of us and blockaded us whenever we tried to exercise our freedom of movement around the protest. And eventually this escalated when not only was I alone because I had gotten separated from my friend, I was being blockaded by a group of protest organizers, and the students at the protest, hundreds of students were literally around me,
So much
dancing in a circle,
Get to the eye
and
stabbing.
singing and holding hands, singing anti-Jewish like
Free Palestine.
I guess chants and cheers. And as they saw me, they noticed that I was videotaping and that I was being blockaded by their co-ideologues. And so the students, in addition to the really aggressive human blockade, also began to harass and mock and taunt me. And they waved their hands and their middle finger in my camera and in my face, and they yelled at me. And then finally, one of the students, whose face was covered in a keffiyeh, took a Palestinian flag that he was holding and waved it in my face, and then hit my left eye. And I immediately yelled, "He stabbed me in the eye," and I ran after him. And the human blockade continued to blockade me so that they wouldn't let me find the...
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there just so we can watch the video one more time, just to give people, just to kind of close this, because I think the video speaks for itself again. It's very, very good.
I'm just amazed how much content she can farm from this.
Oh, she's been on Piers Morgan, Fox News, every fucking network. Oh, wait, listen to the anti-Jewish chants, by the way, that she said. I'll restart it.
Expose, divest.
I think it's disclose, divest.
Oh, disclose.
You didn't see someone walking around. Ah!
I think it's almost malpractice to bring her on a television show. Like it's almost not fair to her. Like you're exposing this student to it's millions of people, like cable news audiences, when she's ridiculous. Like she's being ridiculous, and you're platforming this like for the rest of her life she'll be seen as somebody who was supporting mass genocide because of that moment. Like it's just talk to that grandma that we just saw, who is a Holocaust survivor, who's discussing why she supports these protests. Like it's very, I don't know, it's insidious to I think kind of have this focus on college students when it's
also
again it's all just
provides a safety net for actual Nazis, right? Like people who are actual neo-Nazis are not chanting from the river to the sea. They're very clear about their beliefs. They're very loud and horrifying. And why discount or downplay what they actually are trying to achieve to blame it on people and students protesting genocide? That's the fucked up part.
Well, according to the mainstream media, there's no difference between chants like "Jews will not replace us" and "disclose, divest, until you do, we will not rest." Same thing, according to media. So
true.
That's also But the big giveaway is that she wouldn't repeat what the chant was, because it's not.
And they're not playing the video for you too, by the way.
Yeah, like they could have played the video, they could have played the chants. A lot of content there they could have included. Very disturbing. Anyways, Lance, what is this? What is this Gamergate 3.0?
Oh, Goonergate. So have y'all heard about Stellar Blade, the game coming out? That apparently has
the game with all the ass.
Yeah, ass, right? Sexy female ass, all that kind of stuff.
I have seen a bit of the controversy around this. Yes.
All right, so things got worse. Apparently, this week, there's a screenshot that shows the words "hard" right beside R. So hard R shop. So there's basically like a screenshot, and then a gaming journalist was like, "That's fucked up. That these two things just align. There's graffiti that says "har" and it's beside the word "r," so it's kind of weird. They lined up, and the studio was like, "Okay, we'll change it," and that was it. But then there was a whole meltdown online because apparently they were taking away some version of the N-word for all the angry gamers who were like, no, they capitulated. The word hard in graffiti was beside the letter R, and that was our hard R. You took that from us. Yes, that is the serious.
I thought they were maybe freaking out because like the reviews weren't as high as some people wanted it to be, and they think that
the
it's because they're anti-sexy lady, so that's why they're reviewing it harshly.
No, it's not even about the boobs this time. Yeah.
It's about that. Yeah, I did see that. It's so the developer is a Korean developer. It seems like it was just a mistake because they apparently have that hard graffiti all over the game, like all over.
Maybe it was literally the word hard graffitied right beside an R separate for shop.
Like seeing it, it's like, how do you miss that? But it's like, oh, this is a Korean developer. That graffiti is all over the game. They just didn't notice. But
but then they were like, okay, sure, that's offensive to American audiences,
and they correctly fixed it when it was called out. Exactly.
They caved to the woke mob.
The woke mob. This is woke. We lost a quasi N-word. Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
But you still have all the ass. You have the outfits.
You get the ass.
You won, gamers. Take the dub.
Mm-hmm.
You got the win. Take it.
Yeah. We're also complaining about the fact that people are completely fine with Hades, the video game, having Aphrodite as a character be sexualized when apparently Stellar Blade can't be sexy, but Aphrodite is okay to be sexy. And it was like Aphrodite literally is like the goddess of sex, fertility, or that kind of stuff. There's a reason why she's probably sexualized, and no one's also saying you can't have it. Like you can have it all. You can have all the sexualized characters.
You can have it all.
Yeah. But why is that the only version of women? Why is that the only version you always see? If you play as a female game character, you always play as the sexy woman. So that and someone saying that is not trying to take away the sexiness. They're just like, but that's interesting, right? Like if you played every video game as Sexy Man, where it was a dude in a thong who was super ripped, huge dong, and he just walked around, it was Sexy Man, you'd be like, why is every character Sexy Man though? I just wish there was a non-Sexy Man every now and then, because not every guy can be Sexy Man, but like every game has Sexy Man in them. So
to be fair, I think that has changed a lot over the past 10 years. Like there are definitely games where like what's her name? Ellie in Last of Us, like I don't think she's sexualized at all. Like so, like you play as her. Like
she's not. You're very true. She's not sexualized. Yeah, and she does have a lesbian relationship in the second.
That's right.
In the expansion, and then in the second one, you're right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's definitely.
But those are small little additions to the canon. For the vast majority of games, it's usually. And there's nothing wrong with having sexy. I love sexy. I love.
Yeah, I just think I like variety. Too, like I just want variety. Like just give me. Because the same thing in any context, regardless of what it is. I just give me variety in art. Like that's that's a great thing.
I mean, some people like they can't play a game unless they're attracted to the character. Like they. I remember there was all this kerfuffle about like.
That's why I play Wario. I want to fuck
Wario. There's what was it? So the main character of Horizon Forbidden West, I forgot her name. I played the game, but I can't remember.
I know I played both. I'm so bad at names.
People were saying she had a fucking beard because she had peach fuzz. Like they're trying to show off the graphics, and it's like, wow, look how clear you could see the peach fuzz. Like they gave her a beard. Like this.
Yeah, and some of the replies to that were like, "Have you ever seen a woman up close before?" Like Aloy, yeah. It's like, have you ever seen like a woman or any like human face up close? That there's like little tiny hairs on her skin. Like you can't.
They
see
clearly have not, right? Like
just people are freaking out.
Like I don't think they understand that some people don't play video games to jerk off to the characters, right? Like I was looking, like my husband was playing Elden Ring a couple weeks ago. He had this fucking weird ass character with like purple hair and like pigtails. I'm like, what the fuck? Like some people just played
But you weren't
fun and
turned on at all times.
And you were like, damn.
I immediately protested. I'm like, change this. That's not hot.
But like that shouldn't be the way. Like you brought up, what is it, Elle from The Last of Us, which like I guess is an example of someone who shouldn't be sexualized because she's underage, right?
Actually,
but that shouldn't be the only.
Aloy as well is another one.
Okay, well, there's another one, but like that shouldn't be the only representation. Like, well, women aren't sexualized if they're underage, so then they won't be sexualized. They'll be interesting characters who have ideas, thoughts, and dreams, and they're more than just like a sex object. It should be like there should be both. There should be sex like objects, sorry, not sex object, but people who are sexy for their sexiness, but also things beyond that is kind of the point, right? That's why I bring up, like, if every video game had a dude who was always just like, this is sexy man, his only attributes are that he's really hot, super sexy, and he wears a thong because that's battle armor, then dudes would probably be like, I would like to have something else. I'd like a Mario. I'd like something else. I want to play as a different character, you know? And it's fair for women to say the same thing, is my point.
This is like the gamer equivalent of like the conservatives who cry about anti-white racism. Like you're bored. You're making up something to feel like you're oppressed and victimized, and the games are getting woke. Just shut the fuck up and play the games. Like half the games I play aren't even with humans. Like I was playing Death's Door as a fucking bird. Like I just don't understand how you can't enjoy a game unless it like falls under specific parameters of your political ideology. Like,
I don't even think this is. I think this is like a tiny fraction of online people. I don't even think
probably.
The ground dude is huge though. The Warhammer wars, they're big.
But
the
he,
Warhammer
my
community
God,
is angry.
his tweets are absolutely designed for engagement.
Oh, yeah,
like he,
of course.
that's what I mean. Like, sure, he's gonna find his 12-year-old followers, but like the vast majority of people, our gamers are not. They don't think like this. This is like, I feel like this is really a uniquely Twitter and YouTube thing.
I don't know. We did just talk about Asmongold being such a big popular YouTuber at the beginning.
Yeah, but again, okay, sure. If we're talking about like 10, 12, 11-year-old boys, okay, fine. If you want to include them in these audiences, sure. But the vast majority of like gamers go from like, you know, age, I don't know, 6 to 100. So the vast majority of people are not bothered by the existence of like an unsexualized female game character. Like it's just, you know,
it's true.
All these conversations get a little, I think, spun out of
Mike, do you suffer as a gamer? And
why Luigi isn't showing enough leg for me?
Why Luigi?
Anti-Italian discrimination.
Who's that person in government who was doing anti-Italian discrimination?
That was, I covered that this week
I'm a
too.
POC. I'm an Italian POC.
In 1 week. Yeah, no, he's like, don't lecture me on marginalized people. I'm Italian Canadian. It's like, oh my fucking God. It's so embarrassing.
God.
If anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, go watch my video early this week. Where I think the title is the beginning of the title is "I'm Italian" in quote unquote. So I'm just gonna go watch the video.
That's amazing.
10-10, perfect time.
I'm pro
Yes.
dong in video games. Pro like more dong.
I am too. I'd love more customizable options. Like I think there's not enough ball options or dickhead options. So you know,
I'm all for
that's
titties.
the progressive world I want.
All
yeah,
dong, titties, everything. Just do it all. Yeah.
Right.
But that shouldn't be the only version of women that is represented. It's kind of the only.
I mean, we should be able to use our imaginations. In my last Stardew Valley save, I had a character named Marjorie Taylor Greene. I couldn't spell the whole thing. I think it was just Marjorie. And guess what? She was in an interracial lesbian relationship. I played the way I wanted to play. Right? Played as a lesbian named Marjorie. Looked just like the congresswoman. So
I've actually never played that game.
Oh my God! Like stop what you're doing right now and go play it.
It's like a fun little cozy game.
Oh yeah, I played it a million times. Not literally, but I played it a lot.
What exactly do you do in that? It's just like
have you ever played a Harvest Moon or Animal Crossing?
I was gonna say, is it like Harvest Moon? It looks a bit like Harvest Moon.
It is, yeah. It's like that, but I think a little bit more addictive. There's more secrets to discover, and it's just really easy to get into after the first couple of hours. You're kind of hooked. I have like 4 saves, probably over 500 hours.
Oh my God.
It's the one game that I keep coming back to just because it takes me out of the world, right? Like during COVID, I played it. You know, I played it Very, very traumatic events in my life, and it transports you. It's really, really therapeutic, I'll say.
Nice.
Yeah, very good.
All right, should we get to super chats?
Let's do it.
A little bit early. Let's keep going.
Bender. You've been a specter this whole time.
Bender's just warming up.
Yeah.
This is for Bender, I'm guessing.
Oh,
I didn't even pull up mine. I'm sorry.
Wanda with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Wanda. If the college cannot affirm this noble tradition of justice by rescinding its invitation to President Biden, then the college should reconsider its attachment to Dr. King. Statement from Morehouse alumni.
Wow. That's a strong statement.
Yeah, that's...
And I agree.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Ryan Chan, $5. Thank you. Yeah, this is great news. We didn't talk about. Summer Lee won her primary by 20 points against her AIPAC-funded opponent, might I add. We need to protect Jamal Bowman and Cori Bush. Next, AIPAC is targeting them hard. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Old Grease, $20 super chat. Thank you. Says, repeating because I'm so pumped. I can't express how inspired I am by the kids doing all this amazing protest. Articulate augmentation and impeccable mastery of those big water bottles. Also, those big water bottles. Also, my fellow millennials.
I think he or she is talking about that one very funny clip of a bunch of students in like a hallway, and riot police are on like coming through the door. And there's this one student who has one of those big empty water cooler jugs. He's just bashing the cops with it.
And it's making like a hilarious sound, like bong, bong, bong. Like it's.
Wait, we gotta find it then.
It causes
Mike's gotta see it.
There's a great tweet that goes with it where it's like, this is like the perfect thing to use because it's zero damage and it's hilarious sounding. It just goes bong. If you could find it, I'll pull it up.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Where am I here? I already lost my place. Lawn Gnomes, $5 super chat. Thank you. Says, if you haven't seen it, there's a music video to the bonking cops with water jugs, and it's a fun little jam.
Oh.
There's a music video with it now.
I haven't seen it.
That's definitely a thing
I
I could see getting
video,
remixed.
but here I found the original.
All right,
I gotta see the music video now
The
though.
remix.
Oh, is there no audio? Oh wait.
No, we need the audio. Here's the audio.
That's amazing. I love this.
I'm sorry. Why are there cops here? Like, what's going on here? What happened? Like, what's the greater context? Anybody know? Like, it seems bizarre for these cops to be.
Columbia cracked down on
They're
their
inside,
and then students spread everywhere at all these other campuses. I mean, NYU literally erecting walls around their little.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And to be like, NYU doesn't have a campus like Columbia does. You guys aren't in New York City. Like, Columbia is a rare school that actually in Manhattan that has like an actual college campus. Like, colleges in New York City do not usually have like what you consider traditionally as a campus with like a big sprawling like area. Like,
it's mixed with the city. That's how my college is in Portland.
Yeah, I went to school in Manhattan. I went to SVA. They just had a bunch of buildings. They had no open area. There was no hippie lawn to hang out on. There was no, but Columbia has that. But NYU doesn't. And so they basically like camped out on this little like basically like sliver of land where people have lunch, and they had to erect walls around it. Like ridiculous.
No, I just did that. Crafty or Craft. Thank you for the super sticker. This is for somebody, but there's no message with it.
Oh, it's for me. Thank you, No Way. I don't see a message, but I appreciate that. No way. I love the doggy in the avatar.
Yeah, looks like he's taking like a picture.
Taking a selfie. Nice, smart dog.
Goblin Friend, thank you for your super chat. Says thank you for your Canadian coverage. Thank you for actually watching those videos. I appreciate it.
Goblin's name has gotten progressively more wholesome over time. It was very dirty last year.
I think they were thanking you for covering up your, being Canadian. You're Canadian.
Rightfully
That's a
so.
great play on words.
Rightfully so. Thank you, David, for being Canadian.
Guy on his own crusade 35. That's a good username. With a super chat. That tweet doesn't make sense at all. LMAO, Jesus Christ. What tweet? What did we show in the beginning?
I think the Andrew Tate one.
Oh,
that'd be my assumption.
Right, yeah.
Probably.
That was the most incoherent, nonsensical tweet we've broadcasted.
Right. Yeah.
I forgot about that tweet because that's when I was in my meditative state, gaining energy. Tokyo Hans with a super chat. To Andrew Tate, everything is gay, but wearing overly tight high water pants isn't gay. I mean, I don't wear water pants, high water, whatever. What is high water pants? That like those?
What are water pants?
I think it means like this. Have you ever heard the saying "high waters in London"? Like it's if your pants are too short and they don't go, if they're above your ankles. I want to say.
It's much about British culture.
It is one word. High water pants is one word. It's like those.
Okay.
It's like those. I guess you would call them capris but like.
But not intentionally.
Yeah, he does wear
capris. Just ill-fitting.
Yeah.
Just ill-fitting pants.
Because I actually I have a pair of I guess you could call them capris, pants that don't go all the way down, but they're purposely like that.
I feel like I can't picture you wearing those. You seem like someone who would not wear that, but
I wear super tight pants. All like
tight I could see, yeah, but I'm just thinking like short pants. I never really pictured that.
I wear shorts all the time.
Then again, I haven't seen your legs, so I don't really picture you wearing pants at all.
You mean to show my legs?
No, it's
happening.
We are good.
God damn.
I'm wearing shorts too. How about that?
Thank you, Sophie Bliss. Welcome.
Guy on his own crusade, 35 with another super chat. God bless this father. I love him. Fight for Palestine. I mean, he is so. That guy is so.
I love him.
Pull it up again. I gotta watch it again. I need this.
Do I still have it up? Let me see.
I will say that it seemed. I mean, I don't think I'm making any real jumps here by assuming he is. Somewhere from either Central, maybe Mexico, or Central or South America. And I gotta say, the Spanish-speaking Americas are fairly left-wing, and they have long-standing support of Palestine. Like, I bet his support of Palestine isn't even new. Like.
Mm-hmm.
Every friend I have that immigrated from, and living in Queens, I have a lot of friends who came from Central or South America, super pro-Palestine, just like not even like they didn't even need to like be convinced, like it was like automatic, because they see there's solidarity there, they see the struggle and they get it.
Yep. Who's this for?
Matt.
Oh, that's for me. T King with a super chat. A lot of videos are getting comments turned off. What do you? Oh, you talking about the University of Austin one? But what other videos you mean?
No, I was seeing a YouTuber saying that like they didn't know why their comments were being turned off. I
haven't seen that.
I haven't noticed that on my channel. So
I've noticed these the bot comments where it's just like a picture of panties, but then a compliment like the content was engaging.
Oh my god!
Have you seen those?
Yes. And then pussy in bio.
They're automatically I go in and I report, block. Like I want to try to clean my comments up, but every single time they come back like under a different username, And it's like, oh, you are very engaging. And it's like,
right.
and then the bio is like one of those porn bios. It's so YouTube's got to do a little better job here.
At first I started to try to clean it up, but like as you said, David, they keep coming back.
Yeah,
my very first reaction was, I'm like, is this some girl with her panties complimenting me? You're barking up the wrong tree, lady. But like, I thank you for the compliment. It's like, oh, it's a fucking bot. Go figure. Nobody would be that nice on the internet.
No, of course not.
True.
Yeah, that was the first indication. This person's a little too nice. This can't be real. It's a YouTube comment.
It was thoroughly engaging from start to finish.
Yeah, I got the same one.
Like,
thoroughly
fuck you.
engaging video. No one talks like this on YouTube.
Yeah, right. This is for me. Kiowa Demon.
Oh, wait,
or
are you guys?
Kaya Demon.
Wait. Are you guys saying there's not a bunch of hot women with
replying with places
in my area now?
Telling me that my content is engaging and very thoughtful.
Sorry, Bender.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they're not real, and they don't want to show you their peas.
Well, they do if you pay enough money, but
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, pussies are in the bio though if you're interested.
I mean, honestly, the nudes in bio Twitter spam bots have officially evolved into actually showing you the goods for free.
I saw that they're pictures now.
Wow.
It used to be pussy in bio. Now it's like, here's my pussy.
Try to the tweet, bitch.
God, we're gonna get to a point where it's like we're just gonna be flashed with some like terrible shit on Twitter. Like somebody's gonna be goat-seeing and it's like $79.99. See the whole video. It's like, fuck, stop! I can't.
I'm
just trying to doom scroll, man.
It's gonna go to the next extreme. There's gonna be a ring at your doorbell. You're gonna go outside. There's gonna be a box there. You're gonna open up the box. You're gonna see, oh my God, someone sent me an Apple Vision Pro. What's this? Open up the box, put the Apple Vision Pro on, turn it on. Pussy in bio, right in your face.
Hell yeah.
Went to Coachella this weekend. And I saw a number of folks wearing the Keffiyeh scarf. That's really, really cool. Also, shout out to you for going to Coachella. I bet that was fun, which was nice to see. Wanted to wear one, but didn't want to be called out for cultural appropriation. Where do you fall on this? So I saw somebody ask people from Palestine on Twitter whether or not it's okay, and they view it as a sign of respect. One thing that everybody has recommended, though, if you're going to buy a Keffiyeh, buy it from somebody who actually sells it in Palestine. There's a guy, I don't remember the name of the business, but he operates in the West Bank, makes really high quality. Buy it from him, though. But they don't view it as cultural appropriation. Just buy it from them and support the...
I was going to say, when it comes to cultural appropriation, listen to the culture. That's the rule. Just
exactly.
Like, if indigenous people are like, don't go to music festivals wearing like tribal headbands because those are actual like, it's like wearing military gear. It's like wearing stuff for warriors. Don't do that. But everyone does it. That's different than being like, hey, show solidarity. Please wear, a scarf or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say though that I've been looking at those made in Palestine products, and they are obviously, for very obvious reasons, not being made in the numbers that there's probably interest for. So definitely buy it from them if you need to show your support and they're sold out, which I'm pretty sure they are almost all the time.
I could check really quick if I could find the website.
Buy from them when they're in stock, but don't like hold up on your solidarity in terms of showing visual.
True.
Yeah, because you can't get it.
I don't know if this is the website that I remember. It was called Handmade Palestine. Maybe somebody can correct me. I don't want to give the wrong website, but this one, it does say that they're sold out. Keffiyehs will be restocked by October 23rd. I'm not sure if this is the one. I want to make sure that I recommend the actual. I think there's like one or two of them. Wait, maybe this is it. One sec. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the one. Okay, it's called Herbawi.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Yeah, Herbawi. Let me just share it really quick so you can see what I'm talking about.
Every single one is sold out. They don't have a single one in stock. Which, I mean, it's good that people are buying from them, but also for very obvious reasons, they're not going to be able to keep up.
Yeah. The last original Palestinian Keffiyeh. So it's made. So this, if you're going to get one, buy it here. It might be difficult to purchase because they're sold out, but just support them, because that's what matters, right? Because you're buying it to show support. So buy it from somebody in Palestine.
Get your temporary keffiyeh from wherever you can, and then the second they have it in stock, purchase your forever keffiyeh.
Yeah. Zia Spots, $10. Thank you so much for the very kind super chat. Did you guys hear about the supposed sniper sightings at campuses in Ohio and Indiana at pro-Palestine rallies? Saw pics, but hope it isn't true. We were talking about that before we came on, I believe, or maybe after.
I saw some pics on Twitter.
Tweeted about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me at this point.
Yeah.
Not good. Accelerationism. Like,
right.
Don't do it.
Yeah. And Dungu Kameo, $2 super chat. Thank you. Says Piers Morgan loves money, unlike CNN. Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah. So that pink hair guy that Hasan went off on, he made one good point throughout the entire 40-minute segment, and he said that Crackhead Barney and Piers Morgan, they're really not that different. And Piers Morgan got pissed. I did a video about this, and I played the clip.
That's pretty funny.
It's kind of true, right? Because, I mean, Piers Morgan, he'll humiliate himself all for the views. He'll stage these debates and pretend like he's trying to have this important conversation, but he's not trying to, like, steer the conversation in a productive way. It's like, hey, Hasan just said this. Go ahead and attack him now. You know what I mean? Like, that's not literally what he says, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, he tees people up and tries to pit them against each other. He brings on people like Rabbi Shmuley, who's just going to yell. He wants the fireworks and the mudslinging. Yeah. He's the political equivalent of Jerry Springer. He should just own it.
Oh, it's for me. HK with 10 pounds. Thank you so much. It always seems weird when I just say 10 pounds. Like there should be something else after.
It should be a different word.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot you could apply that to, David. Like they should probably call their cookies cookies and not some dumb shit like fucking biscuits. Like that's not a fucking biscuit. That's a cookie. Get it right.
I was actually very confused as to what you were talking about for a second. I was like, what is he? Cookies? What?
Yeah, they don't. Because I watched the British Bake Off. I was a big fan of it. They don't call cookies cookies. I'm like,
I know what you're talking about now, right? Yeah,
their biscuits are crumpets, right? They have tea and crumpets.
No, crumpets are separate, aren't they?
I honestly don't. They need to get
this
together.
This is why you have different words for different things,
right? Like British people, what like there's the Turf Island, J.K. Rowling, cookies being disgraced. Like, do better, okay?
Yeah.
This is not for me, by the way.
Not for me.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Omega with a super chat. This week crushed my faith in elections because even AOC essentially surrendered to old heads. On a light note, Mike, I'm almost at episode 400 of OP. What's OP?
One Piece. I'm really close. I think I'm 3 episodes away from episode 400.
Much. What did AOC do? Is it just that picture she took with Biden? I mean, I don't care. I mean, sure, it's a disappointing thing she's taking a picture of Biden, but she still voted. She voted how she should have voted on everything she needed to vote on.
She's also been doing a lot of like correcting the record on these protests this whole week. So
right. she's
AOC is like clearly the last person to be criticized. Like there's so many people before her to criticize. I don't feel like she's really that.
I don't like it either, but like I don't expect her to be like, oh fuck you, Biden, I'm not taking a picture. Like she's not going to do that.
Yeah, there are of course aspects of what she does that are, I'm sure are worth criticism, but there are so many other politicians that are doing so much worse that it's not. It seems
very low on my list of like things to get mad about in this climate. You know.
I'll be honest.
You also can't expect purity from a politician ever. That's just the reality of this.
I think AOC could be very possibly doing the strategy I had suggested, where we're so used to centrists or milquetoast Dems pretending to be super progressive and leftist, and the second they get into office or get somewhere in power, they show their true colors. I think she's playing the game. She realizes that of all the squad members, she's actually the one who'll go the furthest because I hate to say it. But based on, everything I mentioned earlier in the show, I can't picture this country voting for, Rashida Tlaib or Ilhan Omar. I don't think they can run because they weren't, I don't think they were, well, at least Ilhan Omar wasn't. It's like she'll never be president. She can't be president.
Yeah.
I think Rashida can. But
Rashida can, but we know what this country thinks. But AOC is the one who could probably go the furthest, and I think she's playing it smart.
I prefer
She's
AOC to Alex Jones. She's better than Alex Jones as a person. Personally,
I mean,
for me, I like her more than Alex Jones. I think she's better than Alex Jones.
Hot take. I think AOC is better than RFK.
Why are you using that as the bar?
Because that's what they're kind of doing in the inverse, right? It's like you took a single photo with Joe Biden, so you're the only politician who's not talking about genocide on like national television right now. Okay, fair enough. I like don't take the photo. I guess flip them off when you're in the, like. Yeah,
like exactly. No, what Bender's saying I think is right. Like this is what we've been talking about. Politicians, if politicians want to win in the current climate, she's doing what they need to do. Like
and
a good politician.
She votes. If you look at the progressive like grade score or whatever, there's a website that like ranks members of Congress based on how progressive they vote on each bill. She's more progressive than like I know I think Ilhan Omar is great, Jones. But I'm pretty sure she votes more progressive than Ilhan Omar. Maybe I don't know about this year or this congressional session, but I've seen in previous ones. But Ilhan Omar, she presents herself in her in like her speeches and in her every day as more of an activist. Like a grassroots activist than AOC presents herself as. AOC is playing the game she needs to play to get. If she turns her back policy-wise and voting-wise, then I'll be the first to call her out. I just haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm. E. Smith, for somebody, became a member.
Oh, that's me. Thank you, E. Smith.
Still alive, 1999 super chat. Thank you. I need to find a sound drop. There you go. And that goes for the previous generous ones as well. I mean, you're all generous, but $20 is big. Says, what do you think is the true motivation behind American politicians' support of Israel? Is it AIPAC? Is it geopolitics, meaning we don't want to give up our glorified military base in that region? What do you think it is?
It's all of it. It's all of it.
Yeah, it's also, I think, hive mind. Like, just, you go in there and there's a certain way people do things. And if you're not that aware, like, here's the reality. I don't think a lot of these people are even fucking aware of
it's the default position.
Yeah, it's sort of the default position. It's just what they're used to hearing is the pro-Israel line. And they're like, oh, here's all this free money for my campaign. Sure, whatever. And it's just what everyone else is doing. And it's sort of normalized. And they just fall into it.
It's also religiosity, because I was raised as a Zionist when I couldn't locate Israel on a map, but just as a kid, as a Christian,
you were raised as a Zionist,
which is an anti-Semitic position, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think the majority of Americans who are just born in a normal religious upbringing are taught about Israel really in any sense.
Yeah.
It's
like an evangelical.
It's an evangelical
Zionism-ish.
Yeah.
I'm a ethnic Jew who was raised as a Catholic, and I have absolutely zero regard, feelings, connection for Israel. I was not taught growing up that Israel has any connection to me or my family or my religion, whether it be Catholicism or Judaism. It just did not come up because it was not a factor. It wasn't. So I think for some Americans it is, for some politicians it is that, for some politicians it is AIPAC and the lobbyists. For some politicians it is the easiest way to claim to be pro-Jewish and not anti-Semitic, if you have true feelings that are in that sense. I mean, as we see a bunch of right-wingers, there's an array of things. For some politicians, it's whether or not you had a stroke in the past year or two. It's a few things.
Wait, who are we talking about? I'm just kidding.
I could be anyone. I could be talking about absolutely
probably
anyone.
Several politics, like Mitch McConnell too. Does he want
to? That's true.
It's ambiguous.
That's fair.
Keep it ambiguous.
Philip,
we did it.
Philip Schwartz, thank you so much for the $10. The moral rot of the political and media establishment of Israel and allies has been exposed, and they're terrified. Those in power always fear uprisings by the people. Free Palestine, ceasefire now. Yeah, I think that one thing that I will say, even though it's difficult to like maintain your composure when you see nonstop lies and gaslighting and just like bad faith interpretations of anyone who's anti-genocide, is that it's not really working. Like I think 20 years ago, the propaganda would have stuck. But now if you look at polls, I mean, people don't agree with the mainstream narrative, right? I mean, if you look at Democratic Party voters, the majority of them think Israel is committing a genocide. So it's just not working, right? So even though, and I'm preaching to myself as I am preaching to all of you as well, like even though it really feels bad to see the lies nonstop, they're losing. That's why they're lying, right? Like this is kind of like, I think probably the end of an era. I think that the whole Israel can never do anything wrong era is gone after this. I think that their reputation has been irreparably damaged. The same is true for the United States. I think internationally, our reputation was already dog shit. But like now, nobody will ever take us seriously again when we talk about international norms and international law and democratic values and human rights. So I think that this is going to kind of be a turning point for a lot of people around the world. It's a wake-up call for a lot of folks. Certainly this generation is going to be radicalized by what they're seeing. Like people on campus right now, this is not going to be like when they mature and they start voting, we're not going to see regular rank and file Democrats that support, politicians that are vehemently pro-Israel. Like those days are gone. Like the Democratic Party dug their heels in too much, and I think they bit off more than they can chew, and they fucked themselves.
I just want to share this quickly.
I'm not young. I'm not in that demographic anymore. But I'm someone who always votes strategic. I had no problem voting. I mean, I obviously did not agree with a lot they did, but strategically, the correct vote in 2016 for me, when it came down to the general election, was Hillary Clinton, and I was fine doing that. In 2020, decision strategically was Joe Biden. I was fine doing that. I don't see as of right now. I don't see what everything we were told was the reason to vote for Democrats for president, to vote for Joe Biden, to stop Trump from doing insert thing here, happened with either complete support from Biden or just what could I do about it from Biden? I mean, we were told Trump was going to be horrible on immigration. Deportations would, Joe Biden has deported more people than Donald Trump. He looks to, in fact, the fervor around the anti-immigration fervor is actually, there was a poll that came out, I think it was today, I saw. 42% of Democrats now think we need to deport more people.
Ooh, they're shifting the Overton window really quickly. That's horrifying.
This is on the Biden administration.
They keep giving in to that right-wing framing.
Anti-immigrant rhetoric. Yeah. So there's that.
What about Target? Though?
We were
Have
told,
you seen Target?
The Target, yes, climate change. Who gives a fuck if we who cares if we have to cross the finish line? Who cares if we have to cross the finish line and Trump misses it by 1,000 feet and Joe Biden misses it by 999 feet? We've missed the finish line. We're done. We're toast. We were told Donald Trump's going to bumblefuck his way into war. Heading that way with Joe Biden's absolute unabashed support for Israel to the point where they're attacking other countries like Iran.
He did not get back into the Iran deal, by the way. That's a huge
which
fuck up on his
seems
part.
really like a big he was in the administration when they did that. You think he'd want to get back in there, but
Iran was open to it. They were. It's not Iran. It's the United States. They were in compliance, by the way, with that. Like conservatives will lie, but the IAEA was checking them. They were in compliance. We were the ones who tore up the deal. So that's our fault. Like that was a peace agreement, and he chose to not get back in it, which is a huge fuck up. Also, not normalizing relations with Cuba, again, another big Obama accomplishment that Biden's like, just ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's like what it's getting to the point where like everything that was like, oh, but you have to vote for Biden for this. What? Okay, but that's not on the table anymore. I mean, I guess the positives are under this administration is the
workers' rights is one of them.
Workers'
less
rights,
drone
yes,
strikes
the labor
internationally.
movement.
Less drone strikes.
Big one. Yeah.
Also, I just think that
the FCC has been the FCC under Biden has been very good.
Also, he's not
just like
he's not an authoritarian like Trump in the sense that like he wouldn't stay in office, right? Like he's an authoritarian in other ways, but like I don't expect him to like cry election fraud if he loses and try to stay in office.
I mean,
I'm not saying.
we don't have to debate this now, but I just like I go back to what Olay argued in her video, and actually this is the same argument I was talking about in 2020 as well. Is just vote for who's the weaker person, the weaker administration to fight as an activist. Trump, you can't. You're not going to fight the Republican Party. They don't give a fuck about the left at all.
Well,
I'm not saying there's going to be any real progress, but I think you rather have the Democratic administration in that sense.
I'm not putting this out there to be an accelerationist. I'm just throwing this out there. I guarantee you that the activism against a lot of what has happened under Biden would have been tenfold if Trump was doing it. If this
from libs especially.
Oh yeah,
this Israel Palestine thing was
in terms of the
happening.
outrage,
every
yes.
lib who's been silent.
That doesn't mean anything would have. That doesn't mean there would have been any pressure on the actual. I mean, not pressure. It doesn't mean there would have been any result because of the pressure.
Interesting conversation to have.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all we're debating hypotheticals, so it's hard to even really.
All right, but you know, all the arguments now for Biden are basically not even for things he's done. It's people who are part of the administration or part of who have been charged with heading agencies that have done great work, but Biden has little to nothing to do with it.
This must be for you, Bender.
Oh, Omega with a super chat. This is like when LOD jammed spikes in Dusty's eye. I have no idea what you're saying that about. We really got to add some context.
Oh, that's about the flag. The flag that fell in that woman's eye.
I guess that makes a lot of sense. It seems like you didn't have to add context. I just completely forgot. I don't remember that. LOD jammed spikes in Dusty's eye. When was this? Oh, this was this is going back. All right.
Who's
I
this
didn't
for?
remember this
you,
off the top of my
Binder?
head.
It's Bender.
Oh, this is my Foresto with a super chat.
It's always Bender.
My favorite.
Oh, a
my
super
favorite-
chat.
My favorite take on the Gamergate dudes is that they're not attracted to women and they blame women for that if they're not sexy enough. No, I actually don't think I mean, that's probably some of them, but I actually think a lot of it is just like they are really that divorced from reality because they've never been touched at all. Because they're
That has to be a lot of this.
I like the idea
sure.
that like it's women's fault I'm gay. It's the
I
women.
mean, it's not even that though. It's just like they are straight. I'm sure that's some of them, but for the most part, it's just straight guys with absolute shit personality, shit social skills, and they blame the world for it. And they don't do anything to better themselves. They just fucking wallow in their disgusting roach-filled bedroom like that Asmongold guy.
I was literally picturing the video I see of his house as you were saying that.
And they fucking blame everyone but themselves.
And he has bloody walls, by the way. I found out about this.
He does.
He like his gums bleed and he like wipes it on the walls.
This is enough. This is enough. I don't need to hear more about this weirdo's life.
Right?
God, that guy is so weird.
And they wonder why they can't get pussy.
Oh
I mean,
my God. Yeah, if that's their hero, you ain't getting pussy for the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah, right?
Jesus Christ.
I mean, that's the thing too. Like, that's an issue. Like, the young men are growing up watching these guys and thinking that what they do is normal, and like, you know, these guys, at least the big ones, are super rich off of their viewership. So like, at the very least, they could be gross as shit, but at least they're set financially. Most of these young men watching it will grow up hating women, having shit politics, thinking very little of other people without any humanity, without ever any empathy. And they'll have zero social skills. They'll blame the world for their problems. And then on top of that all, they won't even be financially okay.
There's a symptom, though, of like patriarchy, right? It's like Trump is not the cause of, you know, Trumpism, that kind of stuff. He's the result of neoliberal policies. Same thing with the Asmongolds or the Andrew Tates or all those guys.
I think that another component as well. I was going to say another component as well is like.
Go ahead.
Okay.
It's like the burnout.
No, I watched a video about this from the Tabernacle. He made a really good point that like a lot of people are kind of like porn brained, where they are incapable of viewing women as anything other than like a sexual object. And so if they don't like see a woman on the screen that like looks like a porn star, then they don't view that as like adequate. And that's a very unhealthy way to view women or anyone for that matter.
Really, are their brains that mush that what? So they can't watch any TV show because unless they're just watching porn? Like,
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I don't think these people exist. That sounds fucking made up to me.
I do think there's a real problem with, and you know, it's not, you know,
it's the way society views women in general.
Workers.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a real problem with like young men, men in general, viewing women as they should be looking like porn stars, or they should be having certain like. How many guys do you think turn women off by like showing up like in like a one night stand? You never get a call again because they treat the woman like they see male porn stars treating women in a movie. Like, it's just bizarre behavior.
That and hygiene. Like, hygiene is aside from the social component. Like, if you don't take care of yourself and have good hygiene, I mean, you can't blame other people. That's
really like bare minimum.
Mean?
Just have good hygiene and things will work out eventually for you.
Honestly, I can tell you don't even need that.
That's right. What are we talking about? Of course, we have we have the opposite right in front of us right here. We didn't realize it.
It really, truly is all about personality. Just like it really is all it is. Like, if you
that's the Binder method.
Because that literally drives everything. It is who you are. It is
sure, but if you walk up to me and you stink, I don't fucking want to hear anything you're talking about. So fuck your personality.
Well, in the punk scene, that's actually not really a big issue. Listen, I was
live shows don't count. Live shows don't count for any genre.
Listen, before I met my wife, let's just say stinky crust punk Matt Binder had no problem getting the ladies. All right.
Oh my god.
I think there's variations though.
Stinky.
Like there's somebody who's like, oh, I've been bathed for a couple days, and there's people who like refuse to wear deodorant and stuff like that. Like that, those are things that are going to make it much more difficult for you to find like a romantic partner. Like just taking basic care of yourself. That really goes a long way. And it's not just for like other people, it's for yourself as well. Like, you want to take care of yourself for yourself. Wear deodorant, brush your teeth, really, really important things. Just basic, right? Like, I shouldn't have to say this, but I think a lot of people need to hear it. I need to write a fucking like Jordan Peterson 12 rules. Clean your room, wash your balls, like fuck.
Hey, fuck off.
If Timothy Chalamet came out and was stinking like shit, all the girls would still love him. It has nothing to do.
He's famous. He's a famous individual.
He's a famous, beautiful man.
He's a good-looking, famous guy. Of course, he's gonna.
It actually does not like it is. It is a factor, but there are other factors that could supersede it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, if you're famous first, sure.
I will confess that I don't think that the ladies love stink twinks. The ladies do not love stink twinks. Okay, I disagree with that.
Stink twinks.
Late night.
Anyways, whose chat is this? Let's hurry this along.
Pinker Bell, member for 5 months, super chat. Here we go. The Gamergate type controversies that dominate online discourse are driven by people who monetize outrage, bad incentives. Also, Stardew Valley is peak. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. It is a huge driver. It is why most young men even know about this shit, because they get fed it in their algorithm because these guys are huge and they get tons of engagement, and then they get thrown in front of completely new people and grow their audience.
Yep. Who's got Bob?
Probably me. Bob Carmody with a membership super chat for 7 months. A university is supposed to be a marketplace of ideas. What is truly frightening is not dissent, but the suppression of dissent. Noam Chomsky.
Yeah.
Probably
Bender.
me. Foresto with a super chat. I don't know if true, but my coworkers told me Columbia was forced to cave on divestment by a student-faculty vote on finance decisions. I have no idea, actually. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Sky, $5 super chat. Thank you. Says, just want to say bye. Love y'all's commentary. Also, did y'all see Tennessee passed a bill allowing teachers to conceal carry? I think I missed that. Is that recent?
That was this week, I want to say. I saw a segment about it on The Daily Show, and not with Jon Stewart. It was really good, though. The teachers, they've got to pass a background check and have training. Only if you're a teacher, though. Nobody else has to undergo that.
Yeah, but maybe apply that to the rest of the gun-owning society.
Right?
Be a little better.
AOD fan, member for 9 months. Thank you so much. You guys watch new Fallout series? Also, so happy Summerlee won. Happy Summerlee won. Did not watch the new Fallout series.
It's great.
Have you guys seen it?
Awesome.
I'm on episode 7.
I have not seen it yet.
It's really, really good.
I also play Fallout. It's great. It's good.
Fallout is like one of the games franchises I've just never played, and I started playing Fallout 4 today because the next gen update hit today. And Fallout 4 was like $4 on PlayStation Store, so I was like, all right,
Nice.
$4. It's not too bad. And I'm like an hour in. I like the intro, so I'm curious to see where it all goes.
I'm going in a different direction after watching a Fallout. When I finish Neo, which is probably soon, I'm going to play another Crab's Adventure, which is a Mario-looking really Souls-like. It looks so cute. I'm pumped.
Crab's Adventure.
The citizen perspective of the super chat. Chile has a pro soccer club called Palestino. Oh, I love it.
Lance, do you have chats?
Only a couple, so it'll be 2 seconds. AK, thank you for the $2.79. The Bitey Face Puppy Guy, thank you for the $10. All about Canadian Italian politicians. He didn't have the makings of a varsity polemic. And this is the one I actually wanted to present to the class. Parker with the $2. Summerlee won by 20%. That's the big news this week. That's my last super chat, but I agree that we didn't talk enough about that, and we should have. It's awesome because Summerlee had so much funding in the other direction from AIPAC and very wealthy donors.
Was it AIPAC though? I was hearing it was like a couple rich people, but AIPAC actually stayed away from it. I didn't read much. For me, it wasn't as big news because she's already in Congress, so. I understand the news in terms of like the threat that was against her, but considering how much she won by. It seemed like there was no real competition there.
Yeah, AIPAC and DMFI stayed out of this race, but they would have gotten involved if Jeffrey Yass, he's the Republican who funded her opponent. Yeah, she's also a very pro-genocide person, or pro-Israel, but effectively pro-genocide, right? But yeah.
T King.
Oh, T King with the super chat. Member for 3 months. Yeah, both Owen Morgan and Vosh had the comment section get turned off on their videos, so keep an eye out. Wait, what is going on? Why are comment sections being
I've never seen this.
I don't know.
I'm just hearing about this now.
Is that a joke?
Joe Mancuso, thank you for the $5. Okay, he's confirming
having
here.
It automatically turned off when they're probably purposely turning it off for various reasons.
No, I saw. I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, maybe. But 2 different people doing it would be bizarre timing.
Yeah. I'm sure YouTube will fix it if they're aware of it. So he's confirming it is Herbawi Keffiyeh. Just for the person who was asking about that, they are on back order. There's a long back order, so it's going to take a while. But yeah, be sure to support them if you want to get a Keffiyeh. It might take some time, but you're supporting an actual Palestinian business, and I think that matters. Salty Tea, thank you so much for the $10. AOC slammed Jared Moskowitz. I saw that for questioning Bernie's stance on anti-Semitism, calling his remarks shameful. Don't go after Bernie. Yeah, and she also, so he was talking about, we should, like, I don't remember what he said specifically, but he said something to the effect of, we could just be having a conversation and engaging in good faith. And she like pulled up a screenshot of him liking a tweet from Michael Rappaport, calling AOC like a crazy person or telling her to shut up or something. I don't remember what it was exactly. But this guy's like, listen, this guy's a fucking clown.
Oh, he's a piece of shit. Yeah.
He goes out of his way to like be
Worst part about
performative.
Fallout, the TV show.
Yeah, exactly. But
he's terrible.
Moskowitz goes out of his way to just like get attention. Like he came to one of the congressional hearings with like a Putin mask to like own the Republicans. Like, bro, shut the fuck up. You're not in high school anymore. Like, you're a congressperson. Be serious. Grow the fuck up and stop being an asshole to Bernie for like no reason. Like, I have my criticisms of Bernie, but like to say, oh, Bernie, you haven't condemned anti-Semitism. Like, shut the fuck up.
His family died in the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine saying that to somebody like Bernie Sanders. It's just the audacity of that motherfucker. So I'm glad AOC called him out.
Narrator with a super chat. Cornell West 2024. The answer to the genocide is not, I don't like what you're doing, and if you don't stop, I might stop supporting you, but probably won't. Well, I respect Cornell West a lot. It's just too bad he didn't run as in the Democratic primary.
Yeah.
I think he would have had a lot more say and power and sway there.
Yep.
He crushed it in that speech.
I don't know if he's going to be on the Oregon ballot, but if he is, I'll probably end up throwing a vote his way. I'm in a blue state. It doesn't matter. I'll vote for Claudia de la Cruz. If she's on the ballot first, she's like my first choice. I think she's great. But yeah, I like Cornell West. If I'm in a swing state, it's a totally different calculation though. But I'll probably, I might throw Cornell. Yeah, I might throw Cornell a vote if he's on the ballot. Prairie Fire, Kowalski 999, thank you so much. When it comes to war, the climate change crisis, race relations, and immigration, the United States always does the right thing after exhausting all other options. Yeah.
Tunbosin with a super chat. Ladies and gentlemen, we present you the 46th president of the U.S., Zionist in chief, the Supreme Prime Minister of Israel, Joseph Robinette Biden. I mean, I think you have it the other way around. He's not really, the way Netanyahu's out there putting out videos attacking American students. I mean, when would Joe Biden ever put out a video daring to say anything like that to anyone?
Can you
in
imagine?
Israel? I mean, clearly it's the other way around. Biden ain't leading shit. Netanyahu is the one in charge.
It's the last
Cosmere
one.
Dragon, $10. Thank you so much. At this moment, there are only two legitimate debates that can be entertained in regards to Gaza. One, is this a genocide versus ethnic cleansing? Two, is this justified? I say no. Well, it's genocide and ethnic cleansing happening simultaneously. And yeah, I would agree. It's definitely not justified.
I'm not sure there could be a debate over that.
Yeah.
I don't think genocide or ethnic cleansing is ever justified.
I think that maybe they're referring to like what's appropriate with regard to mainstream media and what they're allowed to talk about. If I'm interpreting that correct. I think that if that's the case, that might be too charitable to mainstream media because they don't even bring up whether it's a genocide or not. Piers Morgan was saying after Hasan was talking about genocide, he brought up, well, yeah, but you say that, but that Hamas guy said that they want to do October 7th 10 times, 20 times, 10,000 times. And like Hasan had explained, yeah, but like he said that Israel is doing that. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference between words and actions, and that really does matter.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, we got one more from Narrator.
Last one.
Thank you, Narrator. Oregon ballot access secure. Okay, well that's cool. Look, if Cornell's on the ballot in Oregon and not Claudia de la Cruz, I'll throw Cornell a vote. I don't like the Harlan Crow shit though. That's why that's my only reservation. But it doesn't really matter. It's just the protest vote. I'm in a blue state. My shit's going to Biden no matter what. All of my electoral votes, however much we have.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye, friends.
Oh, I can't believe we're done so quickly. This is shocking.
We're done. This is this should be the aim every week.
Yes.
This is perfect timing to end at 11. Why am I here? 11 o'clock.
Oh wait. Me and Mike have. Oh, he just left. We were gonna raid.
Mike's
somebody.
still here.
Not Mike. Lance left. Gotta raid someone. Gotta send.
I don't have
someone
Twitch
that-
running, so I'm gonna go. Goodbye.
Take care, David.
I'm a little bit disappointed about how quickly this show went.
I'm kind of happy because I'm kind of tired tonight. So
I'm tired too. Yeah, I guess because I got that second wind, but I'm sure it'll help me again soon.
I was a little bit better like towards the start, but I'm dying off now. Oh, we have somebody great. We've got to raid Hildebeest. Have you ever Hildebeest? She's a Canadian streamer on Twitch.
How do you spell it?
So HILDE_beast.
Let's check that. Let me check it
She's
out.
awesome. She calls Republicans shit weasels. She's good people. I love her.
All right, cool. Let's click that start raid. I trust you. Let's click that start raid button. Excuse me.
All right, I'm ready to go. Just let me know when. I have all 13 people on Twitch.
It's pulling people in. Yeah, I don't have a lot of people on, as many people as usual either.
Yeah.
They're coming in. Hold on, it's filling up. All right, ready? 3,
Let's do it.
2, 1, boom. Bye, everybody.
All right, take care, friends. We'll see you next week.